Oh my gosh. Come on. Come on. Oh, there we go. Alright, now let's see if it loads the skin. It didn't last week. Let's see if it does this week. I literally don't care. Oh my gosh. Nope, it looks like it's not gonna work. I hate it. I hate that it just doesn't work with that skins don't even work half the time. So, like last time, if it ever loads, honestly, it just do I have to turn it off and open? Do I have to close it and open it back up again? Is that it? Because it honestly is a bad sign if I can't. Alright, let's close the game and open it back up. We'll watch, I'm going to have to sign back into Microsoft. Nothing's ever easy. You know, I really should have taken the 5 minutes of buffer time at the start of the stream to figure this out. Because I can guarantee you I have internet. I mean... Oh, I didn't even... Let me pull up Twitch chat. I didn't even... I completely forgot to open Twitch chat. Oh my gosh, you're massive. Okay, there we go. Okay, Okay, this is already looking better. The one achievement we're missing, with our powers combined, have 3 frog lights. Oh my god. So we made progress on this last time. I think this is what, stream number 3 or 4 of us doing this achievement hunting. I kind of don't remember anymore. It's been a while. So this is stream number, 3 or 4 of us going through Minecraft and trying to get all of the achievements. And so far, we have been having no good, very bad luck. But, yeah, so last time, right, I don't remember if last time we raided the ancient city last time. Right, let's just go down here. Oops, hit the mic. Alright. God, we're gonna have to make this trek back up. So, I don't remember if we did this last time or if it was the time before last time. Are those waterlogged? Huh. I did not do that. So yeah, I don't remember if we came here last time or if we came here the time before that. Honestly, we've been at this for a while now when it comes to achievement hunting. But, yeah. But I know last time for sure we worked in the Nether. I remember doing that last time. Because I kept dying. I think we did this 2 streams ago. That sounds right in my head. Doing this 2 streams ago. Yep. The portal to the other dimension. The golden apple. So... And I can guarantee you there's stuff in there I did not get. God, it's so quiet down there. It is so quiet. But yeah, last time we didn't find anything down there. Or we made a recovery compass. That's what mattered. But we got the 2 achievements. Then we came up and we did the allay. Which, if you saw the box next to the house... Let's go to the box next to the house. Oh yeah, this is... Yeah, look at that. I died so many times right here. Just that one little gap. Like a dozen deaths. Nope, let's sleep first. So last time, right, if you remember, I had the allay with the cake from last time. I had 2. One got trapped in the Nether, and the other was around here somewheres, but just kind of wandered off. Well, between this stream and the last one, I went into the Nether, and I ended up finding the one in the Nether. And then I was like, I wonder if I can find the other one that wandered off. And sure enough, I did. But while constructing this little glass hut, so I had both of them. While constructing this little glass hut, the other one just disappeared. I have no idea what happened to it, where it went. I don't think it went back. If it went back into the Nether, it's dead. Right? Just straight up, it died in the Nether. But, I don't know. I could not... I had it, and it just disappeared on me, and I was not able to find it again. Because I found it the first time. If we come up here... I found it, like, right down, like, there-ish somewheres. It was, like, hidden in these trees up here. It had got, like, caught or something. But this time, I have no idea where it went. I've looked all around this area. That whole... You can see where I climbed up. Because I went all the way to the bottom of that cave to look for it. Couldn't find it. I've looked around. I looked all around these mountains. Nothing. I legitimately have no... It is totally possible it went to the Nether. And if it went to the Nether, it's dead. Probably. Because I couldn't find it in the Nether either. But I could not find it here in the overworld. And I looked for it. Boy, did I look for it. But nope, so I have no idea where the second one wandered off to. But trust me, I did find it. There was a brief period where I had found both of them. And yeah. Because what happens is whenever you leave the game, whenever you go into the Nether, when you come back, the allays just forget your existence and they wander off in a random direction. And it looked like disconnecting and like closing the world and opening the world fixed it. But nah, not really. Like, yeah, it worked, but not well. The other thing is, we set up this cobblestone generator last time. I mined a bunch of cobblestone. I used some of our diamonds. Because we have 16 diamonds. We had 19. I used 3 of them. And I got enough to get the, I used an entire diamond pickaxe. And by going through an entire pickaxe. I also made a hop. Did I do that last time? I don't remember. But yeah, I went through an entire diamond pickaxe, filled up basically a single chest. And then I did a little more. But it's not been, you know, great. And now if we come into the Nether, I finally put this in a box. I was tired of dealing with ghasts, so I put that in a box. You've got this area over here. You can get on top of it up here. And yeah, you've got the entire pathway. Yeah, I totally think it's possible the Alade died somewhere in here. But I have no idea where. Oh, God. The lag. And, of course, of all things, the fucking Enderman that I didn't even look at killed me. God, I fucking hate the Nether so much. I hate the Nether so much. And yet, we're right back at it. This time, we've got the pathways built. We just have to close them up so that way nothing can jump off. And, yep, we're getting the magma. Hopefully, we'll get the achievement. I'm going to try my damnedest to get the achievement. And it stole my... Come on, give me my stuff. I know you're lagging. Give me my stuff. Oh, come on. I hate the Nether. I hate the Nether so... We've been back for... We've been back for, what, 10 minutes? And I've already died in the Nether twice. I hate the Nether so much. This is the absolute worst. And of course it picks up our gold chest plate and wears it. Oh my god, this place sucks. This place sucks. But luckily, we're just working on bridges today, and sealing the bridges is a lot easier than dealing with the gas, dealing with the pigmen. We're gonna die like another dozen times. Oh, thank God, it's just... It just stole our chest plate and didn't wear it. I know we were hiding out in this hole. Why the fudge are Endermen pissed at me? I haven't even touched them. Did I look at any Endermen? Did I? I didn't think I did, but I guess I did. Okay, that one I did totally look at. That third one. But the other two, no, I did not. God, I fucking hate the Nether. It's the lag. Honestly, that's what's killing me right now. Is all this Nether lag is making it so that I can't do shit. Because, right, like, I'll just be looking into, like, space. But the game will have froze. And then when it catches back up, oh, you've looked at an Enderman that wasn't there when the game froze. I'm gonna... Game, you made me kill a baby. Okay, I did totally look at that one. I just can't win. I just can't win. Oh my god. And I have to kill... because these things are going to kill me over lava if I don't kill them here and now. My sword's right there. I should just die again. Honestly, dying is going to be faster than doing this all again. Where'd he go? Is he dead? If you're not dead, kill me. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, everything still sucks here in the Nether. But we've got a mission that we're on, right? We've got to cover this entire bridge like what we have right here. But we've got to do this entire thing. I don't want to hold too much cobblestone on me at one time. So we are just occasionally going to have to go back to the overworld to get more. Because, yeah, I don't want to have too much on me and then just lose it all. Because, yeah, this bridge doesn't have the most solid foundations. I mean, once it's closed up, it won't matter. Right? Once this bridge is all closed, who cares, right? But until that happens, we are in rocky terrain. So I think that's all the explanation we need for in chat this week. Right, just what's going. And then once we get all these bridges connected, we'll start actually moving frogs, and we'll make a frog farm or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out, you know. But I'll figure that out later. That's a problem for future me to figure out. Current me could give less of a shit. I'm talking like an hour from now me. God, and this stone, this is gonna run out before I realize it. All of this cobble, right? It's gonna be gone before I know it. Oh my god. This is one of the hardest achievements. I know it, like getting frog lights. You know, if I could just get magma cream and feed them to frogs, this achievement would be a piece of cake. But the fact that I have to take the frogs to the Nether and feed them magma cubes, that's what makes this difficult. That's why this is hard. The other aspect of this, easy. I'm also going to make some stairs. How do I make one of those saw blades? I think it's called a grindstone. I know it's iron, but I don't know what other than that. For some reason, I remember it being at the very bottom. Grindstone. Stone and a piece of iron. The piece of iron is easy, but I don't think I have any stone. No, I do not. Okay, so this week we have 3 news stories. I'm giving my Nintendo Direct predictions, because I know we have a Nintendo Direct coming sometime in the next few weeks. I'm probably before the Tokyo Game Show, but we have a Nintendo Direct coming, so I rallied up a few of my Nintendo Direct predictions, so we'll talk about that. And then, I've got some TV stuff. I've been playing some games, so we'll talk about that. I've been doing the games. I have been, Harley Quinn, She-Hulk. Oh boy, do I have some thoughts about She-Hulk. No, it's not actually that ominous at all. I'm actually very positive on it. Let's just take a stack for stairs. So yeah, that's kind of the show tonight. Not much. Hopefully it should be a very simple show. At least that's my hope anyways. Why there are 2 skeletons there, I have no idea. So yeah, I guess let's start off with our first news story. So Shovel Knight Dig, the new Shovel Knight game made by Yacht Club in collaboration with Nitram, who, if you don't know, Nitram, they used to be famous for making, browser, Flash games back in the day. My favorite, they made a pirate game. That was all about... I know there are, modern versions of it. I would compare it to Worms. It was basically browser-based Worms, right? So yeah, that's probably the best comparison. I was a huge fan of this little pirate game. But there was other stuff. There was, a cut-the-rope thing. They made a ton of Flash games back in the day. And they had some pretty good quality, and, since it was all Flash games, they were all free to play. I have a lot of respect for Nitram. I really do, actually. So to see them doing a Shovel Knight game, it sure is interesting. I give them that. Because I know they have done some bigger budget games over the years. Did they do Bomb Chicken, or was Bomb Chicken Adult Swim? I kind of don't remember. I know they've done some bigger budget games. I'll say that. I know they've done bigger budgets. I know they have done more interesting games, I guess. Right? They're not just this, one hit, they just did these mobile games and that was it. That's an interesting little cave over there. But yeah, so they're making a Shovel Knight game. This game, at least in my opinion, was announced way too early. This game should have been announced, Oh, I did also go get food. I don't know if I've made any bread with that. But trust me, I did. I went and got some wheat off stream. But yeah, so Nitram, right, I remember them for making browser games, right? Flash games. And they did some good stuff. God, there's so much I've forgotten over the years. But I used to really like them. But now they just do... Right, they did this. I swear they did Bomb Chicken or... They've done other Switch games. Nothing I can remember off the top of my head, but trust me, they've done other stuff. So this new Shovel Knight game, right? I should be excited for it, especially because it's more of a, traditional-ish game, Right? It's more of, you're Shovel Knight, and you're actually digging through caverns, dungeons, however you want to put it. But if I'm going to be honest, I'm not all that excited for it. It comes from multiple reasons. One, this game was announced too early. I don't remember when Shovel Knight Dig was announced, but if you told me it was announced in 2016, I would 100% believe you. It feels like it was announced ages ago, and it's only now coming out in 2022. I know some of that's COVID. And you know what? They get a pass on that, COVID, right, for the past, like, year or so. But anything before that? No. They just announced the game too early, straight up. And as a result, I am less hyped for it now than I definitely could have been. Like, I'm less interested in it. Like, I want to be excited for it. But I'm just not. And admittedly, the same thing happened with King of Cards. Right? Shovel Knight King of Cards got delayed. And then by the time it just came out, I wasn't hyped for it. And while I still enjoyed King of Cards, I'm going to use some of this netherrack, you know. Use it when I have it. Well, yeah, well, I'm still excited for King of Cards. It's not like I'm chomping at the bit for it or anything. Yeah, well, I was still interested in King of Cards, right? I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the most amazing thing ever. You know, stuff like that. God damn it, all these casts. Nope. Oh, no. Look at that! Did you fuck? I got trapped in the room. I got spit out up into the air. And then I was just stuck there. Fuck the nether. And I guarantee you all that stuff we just had is lost. Right? Most of it probably fell into lava. I know some of it probably survived, but most of it's gone. I bet I bet a single stack of cobblestone survived, if that. This is why I fucking hate the nether. This is why. Because look, no gas is going to attack us in this. I know we saw one clip through the... Right, we've seen them clip through the bridges twice now. Hopefully that's not going to be too much of an issue. God, I hope that's not going to be too much of an issue. I don't think they can spawn in a hole this small. They might, but I don't think they can. God, I fucking hate the nether. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons, right? It's just, I think this game was announced too early and I have no hype for it. Even though it is a Shovel Knight game and I love Shovel Knight. The other reason is that I'm 99% sure this game is a roguelike. Unlike Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, that I did not realize was a roguelike. This game is a roguelike. I'm like 99% sure. Which at the time, I was super excited for. And I still do like the occasional roguelike. However... Oh, look, they're just straight up went to Magma Cube. Oh my god, our pickaxe survived. Come on, come on! There's got to be some way we could get in there. God, the odds are against us. Oh, wow. More survived than I thought. We're still gonna have to go back and get more. I think I boxed off this other side. Yeah, I did. And I think this is the full bridge to the frogs secured once we've got this part. That gets the frogs back to spawn. But that's only half the journey. Sucks we lost all those stairs. Where is... Where's my best place to dig up? Because I'd love to get on top of this. But, see, I don't know. Let's see, let's test it right here, shall we? So yeah, I'm just not, you know, I have roguelite fatigue right now between the other Shovel Knight game, Pocket Dungeon, Curse to Golf. I'm just feeling roguelite fatigue. I felt like I played too many in a short period of time, and as a result, I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I don't know if I need to play another roguelike at the moment, you know? I'm just kind of good. So yeah, that's kind of one of my big hang-ups right now. Is that I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of over roguelikes at the moment. Not that I don't like the genre, because I do. It's just I don't need any more of them. Okay, let's go get some more cobblestone. But yeah, so I'm just I don't know, unless it gets great reviews, I'm probably not going to pick this one up at launch. Just straight up, I'm fatigued on roguelikes. I don't need another one. So yeah, I'm probably not going to pick this one up. Not at launch anyways. Maybe I'll pick it up a little down the line. I don't know. Cult of the Lamb was a game I was super excited for, and I didn't pick that one up. And if I didn't pick that one up, then God, what the hell else is there? Just being real here. So, I don't know. But it's now, they did another trailer for Shovel Knight Shovel Knight Dig. It comes out September 23rd, which is later this month. And the trailer had Gerard the Completionist and Aaron Hansen, Ego Raptor in it. So, right, they did a big trailer for it. It was fine, you know. It is interesting that they're still using Game Grumps all these years later. Because they use Game Grumps to announce the Amiibo. They use Game Grumps to announce, what else? Plenty of other stuff. Of course they showed off Shovel Knight. Right, of course they showed off this trailer this week, because this week is PAX East. And I think the Shovel Knight Amiibo was shown off at PAX East. I think other Shovel Knight products have been shown off at PAX East. So this is definitely not the first Shovel Knight. I think the 3-pack, right? Shovel Knight has a long history with PAX East. So this is not by any means new. Oh, I lost my spyglass. That's my second spyglass I've lost. Ah, what a shame. What a shame. I really like those spyglasses. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just not excited for it. Like, if it gets good enough reviews, maybe, but I'm just burnt out on roguelikes. And I think it was Curse to Golf was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, really, I'm just kind of good. I'm just kind of good. God, I don't have Curse to Golf on the talking points this week. And because while I did play it, I cannot get past the second boss. I've gotten to the second boss, I don't know, 6 times. I just cannot beat her. I can't do it. And every time I get there, I use up all of my good cards getting there. So I just have no good cards. And just being good at golf isn't enough to beat her. I'm pretty sure you also have to have cards. Yeah. I wish I was enjoying Curse to Golf more. I really do. I wish it was more of a dungeon crawler though. I wish it was less of I'm roguelike fatigued, and so I wish it was less of a roguelike, but what else is there to say? Next up, our next news story is so Pokemon had been hinting something. they had been posting these like images of like, hey, what are these weird spots, right? And people were like, oh my god, is Smeargle gonna get a new form? No, it ended up a lot of people are talking as if Smeargle is not going to be in this new game, and I just don't know. I legitimately have no idea if Smeargle is going to be in this new game or not. The way people are talking makes it seem like they're not. But I legitimately do not know. But yeah, so it's these painted spawns. And then it was eventually like, oh, here's the new Pokemon. Right? We got like these little like shadows. And I saw someone make a fan art that, admittedly, it made it look more like a possum. Not American possum, Australian possum. Not the American possum. Would I even say it's a possum? Honestly, that might not be the best comparison. I don't know, but it made it look cute. It made this cute little, like, crazy-eyed little thing. Right, that kind of, again, it had those monkey aspects, but it also, it kind of looked different. I really liked that design. The official design, though, when the Pokemon was finally revealed, disappointing. So the Pokemon's revealed, its name is Grafaiai, and it's based on the Ii, which is a Madagascar, it's not marsupial. It's a Madagascar... Oh gosh, what is that called? It's Madagascar... Lemur? I think lemur, that's the word I think I was looking for. So it's based on that. And... I just don't care for it. It's got... So like a real ii, it's got like a long finger that it uses to... Right, that... It's got that long finger. I think real iis use them for... they use it for like digging into trees and getting like bugs. This thing, on the other hand, covers it in paint and uses it to paint with. Which, in theory, that sounds cute, right? Like, oh, painting Pokemon that uses little like paintbrush finger? No, that's cute, right? But nah, I just think it looks ugly. I do not like it at all. But it's made me realize something. I'm finally in that age group. I've become a Gen 1er. Well, not a Gen 1er specifically, but that mentality of a Gen 1er. Where I don't like any of the new things. And instead, oh, why do these new Pokemon look so ugly? Why can't Pokemon look like they used to? I've become a fucking Gen 1er. I know it. I know this is the sad reality of the state I live in now. I've become a fucking Gen 1er. Yep. And this started with Gen 8. Because I did not... When Gen 8 came out, I just did not like the Gen 8 Pokemon. But as time's gone on, I've warmed up to a lot of Gen 8 Pokemon. But this thing... I just do not care for this thing. And there are still a lot of Gen 8 Pokemon that I don't care for at all. Yeah, I've officially become that sort of... Oh, Pokemon... Oh my god. My heart just sank. Holy shit. Blaze. You'd be useful, but not today. Not today, you little cheeky bastard. But yeah, I've become the very thing I swore to destroy. Because yeah, I just don't like any of the new Pokemon designs. But I know people do, and I know younger people do as well. I'm sure kids love Grafaiai. Right? They think it's... Right? It's like that scene from Ant-Man. He's so ugly. I love him. Right? But no, this stupid monkey does nothing for me. So yeah, oh my god. So to say I'm disappointed is an understatement. Because I do want, in theory, I want to like this thing. Right? I don't like disliking Pokemon. But I just don't like this thing. Okay, if I have any chance of bringing frogs up here and fighting them against baby magma cubes, it's gonna be like this. And I'm willing to take this bet. So we've got the full passageway down. We've got a full passageway down. And yep, we can lead frogs up here. We can bring them back down. This is plan 1. I'm fully prepared for this plan to fail, though. Which is why we're doing the other side as well. But yeah, so I've become that curmudgeon-y old Pokemon fan. You know, it's like like when Gen 5 came out. It was like, oh, these Gen 5 Pokemon, they look terrible. Back in my day, we had Orb and... I'm trying to think. I'm literally just blanking on Gen 5, our Gen 1 Pokemon. Back in my day, we had Orb and Gas Ball and Crying Child and Snake and Cum. Now, you just have Ice Cream Cone and Turtle and Mouse. Actually, it's a chinchilla. Flying Squirrel. Trash, right? It's this... Gen 1 and Gen 5 are the same fucking games. I know I've said this before. They're the same fucking games. But yeah, I've become that Pokemon fan now. Right? The fact that I'm not happy with any of the more recent games just proves it. I hate being that Pokemon fan. But it's my destiny. Oh, I wasn't wearing gold. I was like, what the crap was that about? That gas was nowhere near me. Okay, I do actually need to put on gold. I also need to make some fence posts. I might have fence posts. I actually feel a lot safer about this other side than I do the side we're currently on. But yeah, it's just, I think that's me, right? I've become the curmudgeon-y Pokemon fan. Next up, so Xbox, right, there had been rumors for a while now that Xbox was testing out a friends and family plan. Right, you know how like Nintendo Switch Online has their friends and family plan membership where you can play Xbox, right, where you can play Nintendo Switch with like multiple friends? Well, there had been a rumor that Xbox was going to do the same thing with their online services. That you could play Xbox Live with multiple friends. Well, that has now been officially confirmed to be real. That they are making an official Xbox Friends and Family Plan thing. And they are currently testing it out in certain regions. So it hasn't been released or anything yet. Even though I do reasonably think we could see it this holiday season. But right now they're testing it in Ireland and Colombia. So those are the two regions they're testing the Friends and Family Plan in. But it could reasonably come out in, every other... I'm frozen. It could reasonably come out in every other region. And honestly, I'm looking forward to... I think the idea of an Xbox Friends and Family Plan is a great idea. Because I already like Game Pass. Oh, that explains why we're... Stupid fucking casts. Yeah, I already think... Right, Xbox Game Pass is already a great deal. But having a Friends and Family Plan... Fantastic idea. Price-wise, it's looking to be... $10 more, and it supports. I couldn't get if it supports 4 people or if it supports 5. I was unsure after looking into it. I'm unsure if it supports 4 or 5 people, because one statement made it sound like 1 person and 3 friends. Another statement made it sound like 1 person and 4 friends. And that's not how they worded it, but it was just the way they worded the statement made it sound like it would support 5 people. But for 10 extra bucks, and especially when you have like college kids and parents because parents are gamers now more than ever. So having a parent that plays games, but they don't want to get their gamer score screwed up by their kid playing Cocomelon or Paw Patrol: The Big Adventure. Right now now they can make their a kid account and just put it on the Game Pass family plan. So that way they don't have to buy Cocomelon: The Big Adventure. They don't have to buy the new Oogie Loves game, right? No, I legitimately do think this is a great idea. Because I have a Nintendo Switch Online family plan, and I don't have the $80 one that supports the $10 per person. No, I just have the standard, I think 35. And yeah, I have a full 8 people on it now. And yeah, it's a great deal. Honestly, again, we partially shouldn't be paying for online at all. Or if the online was good, I'd have no problem with it. But Nintendo's online, it ain't fucking good. It's gotten better. Still ain't that good. Okay. But yeah, I think family plan's a great idea. I really hope this turns out well. But yeah, they're currently testing it out in Ireland and Colombia. So hopefully they'll be bringing it to other regions. The sooner the better, honestly. Honestly, they really should have been testing this out a while ago and be getting it out right now, with college starting up and everything. And, you'll have 4 roommates, each with an Xbox. Try to get each one of them an Xbox. And now, hey, guess what? All of them can play the games they want to play. That's actually a pretty great deal when you really think about it. But yeah, so that's where we are with the Xbox Friends and Family Plan. I think this is fantastic. I will probably get it if it works like how I think it will. Yeah, I will probably pick this up. It's just got to work well. I don't know. Xbox has been on a great winning streak recently. And so I I really do actually hope that it goes well for them. Okay, we're gonna need more. This is honestly this half of the journey isn't hard. It is definitely going to be the longest. This leg, because it's definitely much longer, but there's way less threats to deal with. Like, our biggest scare is, like, gonna be piglins. Alright, most of the enemies here aren't enemies. I don't even have anything to fill that hole with. Whatever. But yeah, so I guess that takes us to direct predictions. It's always raining, it's always... I've been waiting for it to rain in Ooblets for so long. I need raindrops for stuff. And it rained like so much on the first like few days. And then it hasn't rained since. I would think I would have blue mushrooms somewhere in here. I guess not. We'll talk about Ooblets in a little bit. So Nintendo Direct predictions. So there are a lot of rumors swirling right now about a Nintendo Direct. But it's September. Nintendo has done a Direct in September. Or a Direct Mini. Every year since like 2018. So it's been and I think 2018, it might be 2017, I want to say it's 2018. But it's a large portion of the Switch's lifespan, is what I'm saying. Right, they've been doing this for a while now. And yeah, so I do think a Nintendo Direct is coming. No matter, I think I even said last week, whether there were rumors or not, we were going to be doing Nintendo Direct predictions this week, just because I thought a Nintendo Direct was very likely. Because guess what? It is very likely. Right now, the best guess is sometime before the Tokyo Game Show. The Tokyo Game Show starts on the 15th, I want to say. I want to say it starts that Thursday. So that's the point that makes sense to do it. Do it before the Tokyo Game Show. So it could be as soon as right next week. It could be right around... It could be on Tuesday, it could be on Wednesday, it could be on Thursday. It's not going to be tomorrow because Memorial Day. Even though that would make... I mean, doing a show on Memorial Day... I mean, it makes sense because everyone's at home to watch it, or at least all the kids are. But they're not going to do that. I know enough about how Nintendo works to know that's not how they do things. God, we went through all of this. But yeah, so that's not very likely. Right, it's not going to be, but I think it could be as soon as Thursday. I don't know. Right now, I really haven't heard a rumored release date other than, soon. But I think Thursday makes a lot of sense. I think that's a pretty solid date, all things considered. Five stacks like that. Whatever. I love how just shoddy the patchwork is. But yeah, so yeah, right now, the more prominent recent rumors. Because we didn't get an E3, so I'm going to go through all my predictions. But I will say a lot of them are just leftover predictions from E3. Because Nintendo didn't do a showcase at E3. So all of my E3 predictions have just kind of been sitting there, more or less. Right? I've just kind of... I said them at the time. But nothing ever happened, so I'm just going to say them again. But we'll start off with the more recent, the more prominent ones. So, recently... So recently, Jeff Grubb has been on some podcasts and has been talking about things and has said that this is going to be a big Zelda showcase. So Nintendo's going to show off a bunch of Zelda games, with the big ones being Wind Waker and Twilight Princess coming out this year. Nintendo has said that they're putting out a new Zelda game every year from here on out, right? Their goal is to put out a new Zelda and something with Mario in it. And they've never said that about Pokemon, but that's kind of how Pokemon works, even though I wish it wasn't. Sometimes you gotta give games room to breathe, guys. But yeah, Nintendo has said that they're going to put out a new Zelda something every year. And with Breath of the Wild being delayed, well, hey, that's the one game that kind of doesn't have anything coming out for it at the moment. But, yeah, Jeff Grubb is basically saying that, yeah, we're going to get Wind Waker and we're going to get Twilight Princess. Hopefully they'll be exactly what people want them to be. I don't know. I did stream Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD a few years ago. I think one of the Wind Waker streams is lost. Like, it didn't get archived. But the rest of it did. So, yeah, my playthroughs of the Wii U versions exist back when I did the Year of Zelda a few years ago. So if you're at all curious on my thoughts on those games, well, yeah, spoiler alert, I like them both, but yeah, I like them both. They've each got problems. I don't know, I've been watching Michael and Matt play Wind Waker randomized. It's been a lot of fun, you know. I one day I'll do a randomizer. One day. God, I just gotta get a computer that works. Oh, look at that sod out there. Oh, he's gone. I know he's just right there out of my render distance, but still. Or simulated distance. Not render distance, simulation distance. But yeah, so I think Wind Waker and Twilight Princess make perfect sense. Yeah, I would love for it to be a bundle. Both games for $60. God. But knowing Nintendo, which I know Nintendo, that's not how it's going to work. That's way too good to be true. The idea of Nintendo giving us 2 games for the price of 1 is way too good of an idea. They'd never do it. So I don't think that's very likely. If I'm just being honest, I don't think we're getting them. I don't think they're either going to be separate games and you're going to have to buy them each for $60, or they're going to be both games but they're $80. There's going to be some sort of catch. Right? Like, it's too good to be true, basically, is what I'm saying. But I do think it's totally likely. I don't know. And some of this Jeff Grubb stuff that I don't have written down here, but he did talk about, is that Nintendo has just had finished games ready for like years now. Like, there have been games that they finished that they have just been sitting on for years without releasing. Which, I know Nintendo was hit hard by COVID. So if all of a sudden they were told, like, oh, guess what? Nintendo actually has like 20 projects near completion, right? Like 90% done, right? But because of COVID, right? They'd be working on something because of COVID, and then it'd get delayed, and then they just started stockpiling stuff, right? It wouldn't surprise me at all. With the way Nintendo's been releasing shit recently, that in no way surprises me. But yeah, so I think Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, totally possible. I do think that's a very good likelihood. They're gonna Nintendo it somehow, because Nintendo is still the dumbass company that eats glue behind the portables during recess. So they're gonna do something like that. But Nintendo, that's very likely. Also, Jeff Grubb has been talking about how this is going to be a Zelda blowout, right? We're gonna get a lot of Zelda games from this. So another likelihood is Breath of the Wild, right? Breath of the Wild sequel. I don't think we're going to get like a huge blowout. I think they're going to say that, hey, in next year, in like January or February, maybe even just say at the beginning of next year, we're going to be doing a big Zelda Direct. And maybe a release window, like, God, I would love spring, but it might have been delayed a full year. That's totally possible. Maybe, but a release window would be nice, and them just saying, like, hey, we're going to do a full Zelda blowout sometime in the future. We've almost gone through all of this cobblestone. We might as well just take what we have left. God, I can't believe we went through all of it. Do I actually want to take all of this? Do I want to leave some of this behind for... We're going to leave half a stack behind. Just so if I need to make, like, new pickaxes or something. When we need... I was going to say if, but when we need more. It's probably the better statement. But yeah, so Zelda's Showcase, the rumored name right now, spoiler it if you really care, which I know some people do, is that the game is called Depth of the Wild. Right? That for Link is up in the air... doing all right, like we see in the trailer, there's all these floating islands and whatnot. But in the original reveal trailer, you see Zelda fall down into a pit below. So maybe this is finally our playable Zelda, which people really do want, and there's no reason not to give us playable Zelda. And maybe you're Link up in the sky and Zelda in like the caves beneath Hyrule. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, the rumored name is Depth of the Wild. I totally think it's possible. Next up, there were rumors that, I want to say Deck 9? I think the developer was Deck 9. There's rumors that Deck 9 is working on a new Tingle game. You know, everyone's favorite little fucking fairy asshole who's actually like a 35-year-old man. Yeah, the rumor is that they're doing a Tingle game. So we're probably going to get... because they did 2 Tingle games in the past. Rosy Rupee Land and the other one I don't remember the name of. Neither of which came out in North America. So it would be neat to see both of this new Tingle game come out. But I would also kind of love it if maybe the old ones did as well. Like, that would definitely be interesting, I'll say that. You know, because those games never released. And while, yes, you can emulate them, I want to say they are fully translated in English. Like, Nintendo literally fully translated the games in English. These are DS games, if I remember correctly. One might be a Game Boy Advance game, but I want to say they're both DS games. And yeah, they were fully translated into English, but never released in North America for some reason. So yeah, I do think, so if if they're doing a Zelda blowout, getting a new Tingle game does make sense, right? Finding out that this rumor is actually real would make sense. How likely is it? I don't know, it's weird, but I've honestly heard weirder things. Another rumor is that, as part of this, and I think this is the last Jeff Grubb thing I have, is just he had a general statement about how if you are a GameCube fan, well, this might actually have not been Jeff Grubb. This might have been, oh gosh, what's their name? This might have been somebody else. There's, of course, because there are several Nintendo leakers. Or insiders, as they call themselves. And one of them said that, hey, if you're a GameCube fan, you're going to love this Direct. And to be fair, I've heard that sentiment. I heard that sentiment about the E3 Direct that didn't happen. That if you were a GameCube fan, you're going to enjoy this Direct. At the time, I interpreted that as GameCube Virtual Console. That's still totally possible. I think GameCube Virtual Console is a great idea, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Right? I would love to see, you know, Double Dash, Melee, other things. But no, Eternal Darkness, that's the one I was thinking of. Eternal Darkness, that'd be really cool. But yeah, I don't know if any of that's actually going to happen. It'd just be neat. What else? But as part of this GameCube, we could get. Well, was it a GameCube game? I know there was one on Wii. I want to say there was also one on GameCube. Endless Ocean. There was a rumor about a new Endless Ocean thing. It might have just been Endless Ocean on Virtual Console. That's totally possible. That's what it could have been, right? If they do GameCube Virtual Console, because usually in the September Directs, right, in NES, Nintendo Switch Online, and the NES, not Virtual Console, and right, the NES thing, that was revealed in a September Direct. The SNES stuff, that was revealed in a Nintendo Direct, a September Direct. The N64 Virtual Console, which, again, it's not called Virtual Console, it's just N64, NSO, that was revealed in a Nintendo Direct. So getting GameCube and a Nintendo Direct would make sense. I'd also see Game Boy making sense. But I don't know how likely that is. You know how Nintendo is with these things. But I think getting Game Boy Virtual Console, getting Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. There was that emulator that leaked a while ago that had multiple, right, Virtual Consoles on it. So having it again, that would be pretty cool, but we'll see. Did that Hoglin just drop from the sky? Did you all see that? Okay, we need... I don't know, another 5-ish stacks? Let's see how much further we have to go. I think that's the last open bridge. Because if I'm correct, the magma cubes are just straight ahead. And I don't think... Oh, God, no. Actually, I think that's wrong. I think there is one more open bridge. Fuck. This makes our life so much harder. This makes my life so much harder. Yeah. We already did part of it. I kind of forgot that that existed. And it's right there. So we're going to need at least another row. Yeah, because this is where the LA was. Yeah, we're going to need at least another row. Alright, good thing we have time. What did I say? We're going to run out of cobblestone in like an hour. God, I spent like... Yeah, I went through an entire diamond pick. And we used it up like that. I know we only lost like 4 stacks, I think. And that might even be exaggeration. We might have only lost like 2. We did not lose that much cobblestone. More, of course, anything more than 0 is more than I would have liked, but yeah, because this area is huge. This part is huge, so this is probably going to be just getting this part's another 5-6 stacks, and then the next part's going to be another 5. Or the next part's probably going to be another. I don't know, maybe 3 at generous, 5 at. Realistic. So yeah, what else? What else has been rumored? Wario Land. So we got WarioWare a few years ago. But there was a rumor about a new Wario Land, which is, Wario 2D platformer. I do like that idea. I like the idea of a new Wario Land. I just don't know how likely it is. Now one of these leakers, I want to say it was Liam Robinson, I could be wrong about that, did talk about how there are, rumors about a new 2D Mario game. So not another 3D Mario game, but a 2D game. But not using the new Super Mario Brothers. and that it might be a tie-in to the movie, which, like, that'd be neat, right? Finding out that, hey, guess what? We're doing a movie tie-in game, and it's coming out same day as the movie. To be fair, that's what the Lego games do a lot of the time. Like, when the Lego movie came out, they released the Lego tie-in game on the same day. So, yeah, it'd be kind of something like that. I don't know, it's possible. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna. Supposedly, this Mario game, while it is close to being done, it still is a ways away from release. So I'm not gonna lean too heavily into it. Actually, did we just need one? Yeah, we just need one. Ah, whatever. I can hold sticks on me. All right, it's back to mining cobblestone. We've done this before. So yeah, I do think the idea of a new Wario Land is definitely interesting. Even again, it's been I think the last Wario Land game was on Wii, Shake It, and I know people do like those games. They're definitely a little weird, and I don't know if modern day sanitized Nintendo can make a very weird Wario game anymore. But people like them, so maybe, who knows? Even if it's just a remake collection, that would also be neat. Next up, I know we just got Mario Kart DLC Wave 2, but we could get DLC Wave 3. Just the announcement of, hey, guess what? This is Wave 3, and it's coming out in... Wave 2 was what? Early August? Mid-August, maybe? Something like that. Maybe announce that, hey, it's coming out late October, early November. That'd be neat. Right? I don't know if they will, because that could also just be a tweet. So, I don't know if they will, but it's possible. Next up, Metroid Prime Remake. This has been rumored. Again, I think this was also another Jeff Grubb rumor. Or at least I think he talked about it again. But this has been rumored for a long time now. They made it, because Metroid Prime 4 is coming out hopefully next year. I think next year is finally going to be the year. With Bayonetta 3 out this year, I think next year is going to be the year. Maybe early 2024, but I don't. No, I think next year is a pretty good year, because it's been a long time since they restarted development. So yeah, and getting out the original Metroid Prime remade in HD, that's going to be really cool. I would love for all 3 games to be out, but I also know if they do, it's going to be an All-Stars collection, right? Kind of like what they did with Mario All-Stars. But an HD remake of the original Prime is also a really tempting offer. I would take an HD remake of Prime and then just a port of 2 and 3. I'd be fine with that. But we'll see what Nintendo does. But this has been... Originally, the rumor was that they were going to port the Metroid Prime trilogy. That's been rumored since, like, 2018. Maybe 2019, but probably 2018. That's been a rumor for a long-ass time now. And then because, right, Metroid Prime got delayed indefinitely because they restarted development, they probably just started remaking... Right, originally that was probably the plan, and I bet somewheres at Nintendo, the Switch port of Metroid Prime Trilogy exists, right? Just fully done. But then they were like, oh, well, since we have a few more years, let's just remake Metroid Prime in HD. And that's what they did. I fully believe this is totally going to happen. Supposedly, it is a holiday release this year, which, yeah, I mean, I guess there's enough time. Put it in November, put it in that December release day slot. Yeah, totally. Like that first weekend, put it out the same week as the Game Awards. Totally possible. What else? There was around E3, there was a rumor of Pikmin 4. Not like the traditional, like, hey, Miyamoto said Pikmin 4 is almost done. Like 7 years ago, and I'm still 90% sure he's talking about Hey Pikmin. But, you know, Pikmin 4 truthers and whatnot, and... Fuck, man. Listen, I don't... That Miyamoto quote from years ago, I don't fucking buy it for a second anymore. I know, right, some people are like, well, he said it again after Hey Pikmin came out. Yeah, I still don't believe you. Even if he did, which he probably did, I still think he was talking about Hey Pikmin. I don't believe the whole fucking Pikmin 4 things. But there was an actual, like, rumor about Pikmin 4, and there was talks about a fluid Pikmin. So, right, Pikmin 3's gimmick was rock Pikmin. Pikmin 4's gimmick is going to be liquid Pikmin. Right, Pikmin's made out of liquid. That sounds like a fun idea. Sure, Showa. Right, Pikmin 3 looked beautiful. It's a game. The game is a good graphical showcase for what you can do on limited power systems. And yeah, having like fully like flute, because Nintendo knows how to do water. Sometimes they screw it up, Legends Arceus. But Nintendo mostly knows how to do water. So using some of their crisp, clean water... I mean, there was famously that Miiverse guy who just talked about, like, is the water good in a game? So yeah, doing that, right, doing a fluid Pikmin makes sense. I would love to see a reference to that guy. That'd be top. That'd be class. But, you know, I love Pikmin. I'm a big Pikmin fan. I would love to see Pikmin 4. That sounds fantastic. We'll see if it comes to fruition. I have solid reason to be skeptical, but, you know, I can be hopeful as well. We'll see. Give it an early, like a March release date for next year. Fantastic. There is that Donkey Kong rumor, right? There was the rumor of, hey, Nintendo's... The team that made Super Mario Odyssey is doing a Donkey Kong game. The rumor as of E3 was that the game was called Donkey Kong City. And right, it was all about the return of K. Rool, and I think it was a 3D game. I kind of don't remember all. Again, these are all E3 rumors. So these are like, most of these are like 3 months old at this point. So yeah, I kind of don't remember all the details because I literally just copy and pasted them. But yeah, it was called Donkey Kong City. It was the return of K. Rool. I want to say there were some things it shared with Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, but that game had been out for like 3 months by that point. Let's see, what were... Let me find it real quick. I know I saved it at some point or something. I'm looking back through my old, like, lists. My old rumor lists. Let's see. Game starts off in 1999 with K. Rool planning his return immediately after Donkey Kong 64. With the help of a mysterious new character that can control time, he's able to look into the future. He sees DK and his friends haven't had an adventure in years. K. Rool believes 2022 DK will be less experienced and easier to defeat than 1999 DK. He travels to 2022, but something goes wrong. Donkey Kong Island gets warped in time. Different periods merge into one. One area is a realistic city, but with jungle elements like vines and whatnot. And the game is fully 3D, but in a new format for the series. So yeah, that was the rumor at the time. In some ways, it reminds me of both Sonic... It reminds me of Sonic Generations. And then in other ways, it reminds me of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which isn't a good sign. But yeah... That's the rumor. I don't know. It's totally possible. I don't know. I love Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I haven't played Returns since it released on the Wii years ago, so I couldn't tell you anything. I heard the 3DS port was better, but I never played it. But Tropical Freeze was really good. if Nintendo put games on sale, like if Nintendo was still doing like Nintendo Selects, where they just put older games out for like $20, I would have picked it up. Like there was a thing where it looked like Walmart had put up Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for like $10 earlier this week. It turned out, right, they had it listed at that price, but they weren't selling copies at that price. But if they had, I would have picked it up and I would have played Hyrule Warriors. Right? There's just certain games that I don't want to buy at a full $60, but put it in like the Nintendo Selects for like $20, easily. I'd easily buy it. Because that's how it used to work. Even Nintendo, grouchy old Nintendo, used to put their games on sale. But now, in the Switch era, they just don't do that anymore. Let's make some stone pickaxes. I want your leads. Or lead, singular, I guess. Okay, this should hopefully get us enough cobblestone to finish this off. I pray it does. And honestly, if we overshoot it, that's fine. I'd rather overshoot it than go under. Okay, you're just gonna ignore me. Oh, wow. So yeah, next up, Advanced Wars, right? Advanced Wars was supposed to come out in December, got delayed until April, and then the war with Ukraine started, with Russia and Ukraine, and so it's been inevitably delayed. Because Advanced Wars is fucking cursed. Because the original game released, or it was either the original game or the second game. I want to say it was the original. The original Advanced Wars on the Game Boy Advanced released September 10th, 2001. The series has always been cursed. So, yeah. I think they should just put it out. The war with Ukraine is not going to end anytime soon, but it's no longer the issue that everyone's focusing on every day. Because, at least not here in America. Because, just a few months later we overturned Roe v. Wade and now student debt stuff, right? People have moved on. Not that the war matters less, right? It still matters. But a human being is only able to care about so many things at one time. I know the internet tells us that we should care about everything at all times, but humans just aren't capable of doing that. And trying to care about everything at all times is just gonna kill you, right? It's gonna wear out your heart. So I literally think they should just get it out there as soon as possible. We know the game was done. There was at least one person who was able to play the game for like a few days because Nintendo screwed up and just gave them full access. I think they should just push it out. The problem is they've already made physical copies of the game. I really do think they should just push it out digital and just drop it like the same day as the Direct. Right? No physical copies, just digital only. Get it available as soon as possible. Did anyone... Because you know how the Switch is hackable, right? How it has that inherent hardware bug that if you want to, you can just hack the Switch. Did anyone just hack Advanced Wars like that? I'm assuming they didn't because physical copies never got released. Like, if there was a single... Like, a retailer had got a physical copy, things would probably be different, but because nobody did, I'm gonna guess they didn't. I don't know, though. Because I haven't heard anyone say any... Other than that one person who had it for, like, a few days. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it. But yeah, other than that, if I want to guess a release date, maybe just get it... Maybe fill its original release date. That first week of December... Let's see, the first week of December this year is... December 2nd. Just get it out that December 2nd and just give it a minimal market. I know there are, right, like, part of the reason it got delayed, besides for being a game about war, is that the villain of the game is Russia, right? It's like how in Valkyria Chronicles, I think Valkyria Chronicles is the game, you're facing off against Bodolf Schmittler, right? And Spermany. It's kind of like that, right? Like it's clearly Russia. They don't call it Russia, but the villain is very clearly Russia. And either the first or the second game, I don't remember which. So that's like a big part of the reason, but I really do think they should just push it out there. Make it digital exclusive if you have to. I mean, reuse those cartridges for something else. I mean, they already have to reuse the Everybody 1-2 Switch cartridges. Which I know I didn't mention. I don't have it listed in here. I don't think I do anyways. No, I don't. But if Everybody 1-2 Switch is going to get announced, it's going to get announced here. Nintendo's going to push it out. Maybe it'll be part of Nintendo Switch Online. Maybe it won't. I think that's the best move. But I'm going to guess they're going to also announce 1-2 Switch here. And maybe just shove it out. Next up, some third-party things. There was, again, going back to Jeff Grubb, I think it was him, that It Takes Two is going to be on Switch, right? The game that won Game of the Year at the Game Awards last year, the Fuck the Oscars guy whose name I don't remember, right? It Takes Two is coming to Switch. Makes perfect sense. I think that's a great game to come to Switch. Part of me is surprised it wasn't already on Switch, but it makes perfect sense. I do want to play that game. Problem is, I don't have any friends to play it with. But no, I'm actually super interested in It Takes Two. Alright, let's see what we can do with this cobblestone. So yeah, I think I'm interested in It Takes Two. I just heard something, but I don't know what. I think that's a great addition to come to Switch. Red Dead 2, around E3, there was a rumor that Red Dead Redemption 2 was coming to Switch. It might have been a cloud version. I kind of don't remember, and I don't have it written down in my notes if it was. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 makes sense to come to Switch. That's not a bad addition at all. I'm honestly amazed GTA 5 isn't already on Switch. I feel like that's something that should have happened years ago now. Like, that should have happened in, 2019. Maybe even earlier. The same time Overwatch was announced for Switch. But nope, it never did, so... what you gonna do? Next up, Bayonetta 3. Which is technically a second-party game. But it comes out in, I want to say, October... So that makes sense, just get that, get another trailer for that. I don't think we need some sort of, big overview. They could if they want, but I don't think we need it. But yeah, Bayonetta 3 I think makes perfect sense. I'd be interested to see it. So yeah, another good addition to come to Switch. Or another good thing that, they could just put in the Direct somewheres. And then the final thing I have, also kind of second-party-ish, third-party... Ubisoft, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I think that also comes out in October sometime. Ubisoft is still the company that mentally and physically abuses its employees, so I'm still not gonna pick it up, or if I do, I pick it up used, but I'm probably just not gonna pick it up. But, God, fuck, man. I would be so excited for that game. Because, yeah, I liked the original. I really did. I kind of want to play the original again, but I'm not going to. And if I do, I'm definitely not gonna talk about it and give Ubisoft publicity, man. Fuck them. But I could see us getting some more Mario Bros. Rabbids here. Everybody loved that ghost girl, that ghost rabbit from the last presentation, so getting more of her would make sense. But we'll see, again, I think the game comes out in October. That's not too far away at all. Let's see, what else? Anything else? Nothing I can think of. That's, again, a lot of my predictions are stuff that should have happened at E3, that were rumored to happen during E3, and then Nintendo just didn't do an E3 showcase, so it didn't happen. So admittedly, a lot of my predictions fall into that camp. But we'll see. Again, if I had to guess the date of a September Direct, I'm gonna say this Thursday, maybe. I would love to react to the September Direct live. I don't think that's actually gonna happen. If you couldn't tell from my Splatoon Direct reaction, my computer's getting up there in age, and it's no longer able to do it's no longer able to do a lot of what it used to be able to do. And so, like, trying to do like that, like I did the Splatoon reaction, just doesn't work. It just didn't work. And that video was, if you'd watch, you can find it on YouTube. It's just that terrible, because there's no video, it's all audio. So yeah, and admittedly I can fix that in post, right? But it takes time. So while I do want to react to it live, it's probably just straight up not going to happen, because my computer's getting old. Which fucking sucks, man. I know I should get something new. I know graphics cards are more available now than they were in the past. So I could probably make something good, but I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. Direct's right around the corner. I'm excited for it, but yeah. Again, Nintendo just might not do one. It's totally possible, but with them skipping E3 and this being a post-COVID year, like, yes, I know COVID is still out there. Trust me, I know someone who just got COVID this week. But, again, I'm surprised that I didn't get it last week when I'm sick. I don't know how I avoided that, but whatever. Alright, let's finish this thing off, shall we? Watch me get all this, and then just never fucking use it. Because, right, there's no reason to use it, maybe. Because I might be able to just find all my frogs. Or get all my lamps in the bastion. Oh, that'd be so nice. That'd be so nice to not have to use... I mean, it would be a waste of, like, 2 hours, but... it'd be nice to just not have to worry about any of that. I should make some bread when we get back. I'm tired of eating melons. They just aren't filling enough. So I guess that takes us to WIBE. So I want to talk about the Splatoon 3 real quick. The Splatfest was last week, and the team that ended up winning the Splatfest was my team, Rock. It's clear that Tricolor is weighted both very heavily, and that just how bad Scissors just got destroyed during Tricolor. Like, yeah, they were ahead at the break, at the halfway point, but they just lost Tricolor so much that in the final score calculation, they didn't get a single point. Right? Paper got more points than fucking Scissors. That's just how bad they got destroyed. God, I hope we have enough. We're cutting it close, but I think we do. I really should raid that bastion right there, but it's not going to have anything I need, so why bother? It could have a magma cube spawner in it, now that I think about it. I know magma cube spawners exist at the bottom of some of those things. keep that in mind. We might actually... God, if it has a magma cube spawner... Oh shit, that would change the game. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun playing Splatfest. I considered going back to play Splatoon 2. I did not do that, but I definitely did consider it. Instead, I just watched, while I was working, I had Chugga Conroy's Let's Play of Splatoon 2 on in the background. And I did actually finish it. I was behind a little bit in his Let's Play, but I did end up getting caught up, and I did end up finishing it. And yeah, it's a really good series. I'll say that. See, look, we just got to get one of these magma cubes, lure them down here, break them apart, and then get the babies to drop down here. Look how easy this is, if we were to actually do it. So yeah, I'm not really worried about this part. It was more getting the frogs to travel this distance. And I think we can now. So yeah, I have this little pathway open. I'm not gonna worry about it. It exists. There might be something in here, but also I kind of don't give a shit. Let's head back. Now let's go get frogs. Oh my god. So yeah, Splatoon 3 Splatfest was so much fun. I'm so excited to play Splatoon 3. Comes out in 5 days. It comes out on Friday. And yeah, we're going to be playing it. We're going to be doing it on stream. You better believe it. So yeah, I'm going to stream the story mode. That's going to be... Friday's stream is probably going to be the story mode. We'll do a normal in-chat in the online mode. And then we'll do some more story mode over the coming days. I'm not going to say I'm, like, back to full streaming, right? Like I was pre me getting a new job. But I do kind of want to return, more than just Saturdays. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm definitely thinking about it. But yeah, I just had so much fun with Splatoon 3. With the Splatfest. I like Tricolor. There was talks that I guess in the code, they specifically mentioned how, like, the Ultra Signal and the Doom Sprinkler, right? So there was the Ultra Signal, which was the bottle rocket. And then there was the Doom Sprinklers. Well, those are separate things. So it is totally possible that in future Splatfests, you'll collect the Ultra Sprinkler, and it will do, or the Ultra Signal, and instead of summoning a Doom Sprinkler, it'll do something different. Right? That this isn't just like, one, right? Like, not because you know how in Splatoon 2, every Splatfest had, like, its own unique stage? Well, it's totally possible that in this one, every Splatfest is going to have its own unique Ultra Signal. That every Splatfest will have a different Ultra Signal that works just a little bit differently. Maybe it summons, like, other versions of, like, specials and whatnot. Maybe they bring back the Mega Bombs from Splatoon 2, which they did use in one of the Shifty stations. I don't know, we're kind of at the point where anything's possible, so... yeah, I just think that would be neat. But yeah, I'm super excited for... again... part of me still thinks the game hasn't justified its existence, but just because the game hasn't justified its existence doesn't change the fact that I really do like Splatoon, and I am excited for the new one. Right? That hasn't changed. Alright, let's make some bread. Gosh, let's make some bread. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun with that. Next up, I have been, so, as you know, right, I struggled to, like, pick up, I didn't even realize I had gold pants in here. I struggle, right, when it comes to, like, indie games, I'm always like, do I want to buy this game? Should I buy this game? I don't know. Like, it looks good, but at the same time, like, I could spend my money on other stuff, right? And, like, it's why I bought Curse to Golf instead of Cult of the Lamb, right? Because while I was like, oh, these both look interesting, I was more interested in Curse to Golf. And then, of course, I learned it was a roguelike, so that kind of blew up in my face. But other than that, you know. Alright, we got 24 fences. We've got leads. I don't think I need fence gates. I want a boat. Let's take some water. What else do we need for breeding frogs? So, leads are for leading, obviously. Slime balls are for breeding. Is there anything else I need to breed frogs? Nothing that I can think of. I want an axe. I want an iron axe. Specifically more than the shovel. We've got some food. Maybe I should get some more. Oops, not that many. I think this is all we need. I think this will be enough to get us everything we want. I hope it's enough. Oh, I should make a shield. I doubt I'll need it, but I should make it. I also don't need a bow. I hate how monsters still spawn. Even though we've lit up a good chunk of this area, I haven't lit up enough of the hill. And monsters still spawn here. What did I want? A shield, right? Yeah, good. Okay. Okay, let's go get some work done. Oh. Do we just have a... I'm looking for something. I guess we can use dirt. It kind of... I need some sort of building material. And yeah, I guess dirt works. Alright, so next up, the next thing I've been playing is, I struggle with picking up indie games. But every once in a while, something comes along where I'm just like, you know what, I know I'm going to love this game, I'm just going to pick it up, right? That doesn't always happen. Again, Cult of the Lamb, God, just so many good indie games have been coming out recently. But, Ooblets. Ooblets finally came out on Switch this week. If you don't know what Ooblets... So, Ooblets is probably most famous for its controversy of being one of the games that went on the Epic Game Store. Right? It joined up with the Epic Game Store, became an Epic Game Store exclusive, and then they made like a really like cheeky tongue-in-cheek post about it. And people just did not like that. It really pissed people off. That right, they had gone Epic. It was not that they had gone Epic Game Store exclusive. It was how they announced it. That just annoyed the crap out of people. And so, right, they had done this really like tongue-in-cheek thing. But you know, that controversy, like every other controversy, eventually fades. People moved on to do other things. And so as part of that, well, the game released on Epic Game Store, and people really liked it. And now, this week, it released on Switch. I'm sure it's released... It probably released on other platforms as well, but I just know it released on Switch. That's the one I know for sure. Is that, yeah, it's out on Switch now, And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I've heard tons of great things about this. The game has been compared to Stardew Valley meets Pokemon, which, like, already that's a great concept. Stardew Valley meets Pokemon. And yeah, no, that's a good description of it. Stardew Valley meets Pokemon. It's fun. It is a fun game. Oh, I needed torches. Oh shit, did I grab torches? Or do I have, like, the stuff here to make torches is what I mean. I'll figure it out. I'm a smart cookie. I can figure this out. I need stuff to... I know there's coal or something somewhere down here. Because we found it last time. I'll take more slime. Oh god, where did we go last time? Somewhere's in here we found stuff to make torches. Glow squids. Oh, there's some coal. Okay, 2 pieces. I can work with 2 pieces. It's not as much as I'd want, but I can work with it. I'll also take more of you. We've gotten really lucky with the slime chunks, all things considered. And it's funny, I think of this, like, this is one of the hardest achievements, right? This Froglight thing. It's, if you're playing on, Java Edition, Java Edition, there are some achievements that are just wild in Java Edition. Like, Java Edition has achievements to, like, get a piece of armor from every, or to get armor from every set. To get, to kill every hostile mob. To breed every peaceful mob. Java has some wild achievements that, like, I couldn't even imagine. Okay, so we've got frogs up here. Yeah, because, see, we're going to have to breed the frogs, like, right down here. But we'll worry about that later. I'm going to actually write down these coordinates real quick. I might have already last time, but I'm going to write them down again. 2895, 68 1383. No negatives. That's nice. If I remember correctly, the swamp is just right here. It's not far at all. So yeah, I picked up Ooblets because I'd been like, oh my gosh, yeah, right, it's Pokemon meets Stardew Valley. That's a great idea. That sounds really fun. Oh yeah, count me in on that. So I picked it up, and I've been enjoying it. It's got some problems. Mainly that there's a bug on the Switch version where you can, so like right now, right, ZR, ZL places your blocks. Right. The Switch version of Ooblets is bugged, and you can't use ZL and ZR buttons while in handheld, or while in TV mode. So if you boot the game up in TV mode, ZL and ZR will not work. The buttons are just straight up, right, it's just, there's some sort of bug, and the buttons just don't work in that version. And it sucks. At first it sucks, and you can ignore it. Like, 90% of the time, you can ignore it. However, there is one problem. There's one major problem. And that is that when you buy chests, you need to use ZL and ZR to go over to the menu that allows you to place chests, right? For more storage. If it wasn't for that, I might not have even noticed. Because really, that was the main problem. Is that I had is that I was trying to do this, and it just wasn't working. And I was like, oh, is the game bugged, right? Like, something's clearly wrong here. And for a moment, I wondered if it was my controller that was broken. Because I have my Pro controller, my Switch Pro controller, the ZL and ZR button don't work. I don't know why. That's another portal. Is that another portal right there? Either that or that's a really tall cactus. No, that's another portal. Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason, the ZL and ZR buttons just don't work on my, Alright, we got some frogs. Let's take them back. And then we'll go get some more. We're going to pen them up, box them up, and then we'll go get some more. We're going to literally just... Oh, God. I didn't bring any name tags. I didn't bring any name tags. Shit. Oh, God. I screwed this up, didn't I? I've already screwed this up, didn't I? I don't know. They might actually stay on leads. Where did I lose one? Oh. He dropped carrots. How are you... Where's your lead, mister? Where? Okay, we lost... Oh my gosh, this is my nightmare. You know, let's just take two. Okay, we're gonna do this the wrong way, but we're gonna just take two. Because I don't think the lead is under the ice. So yeah, I've been playing... So yeah, that's one of the main bugs. The other bug, and I haven't come across this one, but I'm gonna... When I do eventually get to that point, it's probably gonna be where I just stop playing the game for the time being until they, you know, release a patch. There's a point in the game where I guess you get to open your own store. And I guess there's a bug where when you try to open your own store, it, the game breaks, I guess? And, like, a bunch of the missions that involve your own store just, like, cause the game to, like, freeze up. So they've advised players just not to play past that mission. And, right, they'll fix it in the future. So, yeah, I have not played past that point. But that has been some... Right, I haven't even gotten there yet. I don't know how far I'm in. I'm, like, 20-something days into the game. I don't know if there's like a monthly or like, you know, like other games, like Stardew has like a yearly calendar. I'm not sure if there's like a yearly calendar in this game or something like that. I'm not 100% on any of it. Okay, let's... Now you should come to the water. And that'll leave frog spawn. Okay, so right now we're just breeding frogs. That's it. That's our entire goal. Oh, gosh. We got to get these frogs to spawn, get their eggs to hatch. And then once we've got all that, we should be all good. I don't think any of these things are dumb enough to die. I mean, I know they are, but hopefully they won't. And then we'll go back and get some of those other frogs to lead them actually into the nether. Okay, so, yeah, I've been playing the game, and, you know, you go around, you find these little ooblet creatures. Instead of doing Pokemon battles, you do dance battles, where you have groups of ooblets dance battle against each other in a system similar to Slay the Spire, actually. Right? Like, even though they're dance battles, so you'd assume they're like Pokemon battles, and they kind of are. If it reminded me of anything, I'd say it reminds me of Slay the Spire. Because you're using, like, cards, and instead of your, like, dance moves are cards, and you're able to, like, build up hype to make it so that way you get your dance, you get, like, more points for dancing. You're able to fluster your opponent so that way they do less. And yeah, it's just about dance battles. And I just unlocked the Dance Barn, which allows you to do like dance battle tournaments that can give you special rewards, which that's cool. Right? The first tournament was for like a really good item, and I just immediately lost it. But yeah, I've been building my own little farm. You know, because all of the items work in like 3x3 squares. I've just been doing everything in like little 3x3 squares. So it's honestly a lot like my Stardew Valley farms. It's not very pretty, but you know, it works. It's effective enough, I guess. But yeah, I've just been doing my little farming. You know, trying to be a good farmer, growing ooblets, going crazy because there's this obsidian, which is, you know, like, it's obsidian, but it's because everything has a weird name. Like, everything in the game has some sort of weird name. Obsidian, all the flowers have weird, like, instead of wheat, it's muzz. There's cotton flowers, right? There's all sorts of weird stuff like that. And so I've just kind of been, you know, trying to deal with that. Honestly, having these little tadpoles in this ocean like this, probably not the greatest idea. And that's partially why I brought the bucket, but I just want to try to do it in the ocean first. Since the snow frogs are the hardest to get, they're going to be the ones I try to do first. Because they're the most annoying. I mean, I guess in theory you could grow the tadpoles in other regions and then just bucket them over here, but yeah. Just in case I do want to bucket the frogs and just move them up here. Because, yeah, I could, in theory, just move them up here. I really hope I find magma, just easily find magma cubes in the fortress. God, that would make my life so much easier. And see, there's also, I know we picked these up from a normal forest. If I kept going, I would have eventually found a mangrove. There's a mangrove forest not too far from where we are. Yeah, so yeah, I've been playing Ooblets. I'm like 20 something days in. I definitely feel like, I don't think if there is a season system, I haven't dealt with it yet, right? If I have to like wait for like certain seasons, I haven't seen any evidence of that yet. So yeah, if there is anything to do with like seasons, I don't know, but I haven't seen rain. Like, I was dealing with rain a bunch yesterday, which you need rain to get raindrops to make sprinklers. And then I don't think it's rained at all today. Because I started playing on Friday. So yeah, like the first 2 days I was dealing with rain. It was raining like every other day, and then it hasn't rained since. And I need raindrops for certain achievement, or for certain goals, because like there are achievements. There are these things called badges. But there's also, like, these town goals that you're working with, like, the mayor to complete. And I need 2 raindrops to, like, open the archives or something. It's something like that. I need raindrops for something. And, okay, since you're my first, I'm gonna bucket you. And I'm gonna throw you in here. We'll see what that does. Oh, crap. The other one hatched, and they just immediately jumped out of the water and killed themselves. If you do that, I swear to Glob. I can't believe... And it looked like multiple hatched. Because, yeah, here's another one. Oh, there's several of you. Okay. But yeah, it looks like they maybe, like, popped out of the water. Can you make more already? God, it's really nice that we just basically doubled our slime right there. It's a neat idea, these frogs. I'll give them that. It's a neat idea. But yeah, the only frog we have to worry about is these snow frogs. Which I think these are the green ones. Because the orange ones we can find in the swamp. And the other ones, the red one, or the white ones, we can find in the mangrove swamp. At least, God, I hope we can find them in the mangrove swamp. But you know, I'm prepared for anything. You know, I'm actually going to go grab one more frog. Because we know where they are, so... Let's just grab another orange one. Just for when the white ones grow up. I hope they don't despawn. You know what? I'd rather wait... You know, no, let's just go. Let's just go. Pray stuff doesn't despawn. And then we'll run back with one more orange. There's a reason I tried to grab 4. Yeah, so I've just been enjoying Ooblets. You know, it's a really good game. The bugs and honestly, so how I fixed it was well, it doesn't work in TV mode. If you take your Switch and just put it in handheld mode, the bug's not there. So I was able to put it in handheld mode, switch over to the furniture screen, and then once you switch over the furniture screen, it doesn't change back. You can just put the game on the furniture screen and just leave it there. Which is super convenient, you know? So yeah, I just put the game on the furniture screen and left it there. And yeah, in like even saving and quitting, coming back in, stays on the furniture screen. So it's technically an issue, and like because of it, you can't access, like there's like the almanac. The game has like an almanac that I'm unable to access without it. Right? Like I can see the ooblets, but I can't see like anything else. But you know, I'm sure they're gonna fix the bug eventually. And right, at least it still works in like one version. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I've been thoroughly enjoying it. So like if you're into like home decoration stuff, I don't like that. It's basically all the home decoration stuff's kind of off limits right now on the Switch version. But you can basically do everything else. The dance battles, growing the ooblets, doing the farm stuff. All of that works no problems. It's just the dance battle stuff. That's it. Or it's just the home decor stuff. Which really, for me, has only mattered because of chests. Because I need more chests. Let's check up here. Yep, you two are still sitting pretty. So yeah, I've been thoroughly enjoying ooblets. Everything about the game, I do recommend it. It's a very solid, very fun game that has a lot of good things going for it. And yeah, and it is, and part of the reason why I was like, when I saw the game, I was like, oh, this is, besides for like hearing people talk about the Epic Game Store version and really enjoying it, the other reason I knew this was like, oh, I gotta pick this up now, is because it was 30% off. Until, I want to say, September 7th, the game is 30% off. Maybe, it's probably like 33, but yeah. It's on sale right now, the Switch version, for the next few days. So even if there's like some bugs and whatnot, if you're at all interested in Pokemon meets Stardew Valley, pick it up right now. Pick it up right now, 33% off. It's more than worth it. Easily. Easily more than worth it. So yeah, I've really been enjoying it. I can already tell you it's going to be better than Temtem. Temtem, which is another Pokemon-like game, that is, whereas like this game is, you know, whereas Ooblets is Pokemon meets Stardew Valley, Temtem is to Pokemon what Stardew Valley is to Harvest Moon. That it literally just killed, because Stardew Valley just killed Harvest Moon and is now wearing its like skin. Right, that's kind of what Temtem is. It killed Pokemon and is now wearing its skin, even though it's not nearly as good as Pokemon, you know? So yeah, just keep that in mind about Temtem. I'll tell you that straight up. That it's not going to be as good as Pokemon. Just straight up. Before we leave, I'm going to grab one of these tadpoles. Well, I'm still waiting for those two to grow up. Because it doesn't actually matter where the tadpoles are laid. What matters is where they hatch. Or where they, you know, go from tadpoles to frogs. That's what matters. So, like, I can take this one and bring it home and turn it into whatever frog is at home. Basically. which is what I'm going to consider doing. I don't know. Again, we're going to run some tests. I probably shouldn't have brought all 32 of my slime balls here, but whatever. I did not grab the wood to make a chest. We can. It's right. I see a tree right there. So yeah, I highly recommend Ooblets over, especially over Temtem. Like if you're gonna play a Pokemon-like game, God, pick up Ooblets before you pick up Temtem. Alright, I know Temtem is more like... There was a tweet that I saw a while ago that was something along the lines of like, oh, about like Pokemon fans will say like, oh, this is what we want from Pokemon. But then you actually see the game they come up with, and it's like, oh, this is the dumbest thing ever. Usually because it involves like cults. There are a surprising amount of Pokemon fan games that involve cults. So yeah. But Ooblets, nope. I know Temtem is like that. God, I'll look up the actual tweet here in a second. I want to replace this tree. I know we're not coming back here ever, but I think tree replacement is important. But nope, we found nothing. I'll see if I can actually find the tweet. But yeah, it was something like, oh, Pokemon fans will come up with a game idea, and it'll just be the worst idea you've heard. Same thing with MCU fans, admittedly. MCU fans come up with ideas for movies, and it's like, oh, this is the worst idea ever. It's like, there was like fan art for like, I guess Endgame that had Steve Rogers like getting beheaded, and it was like, no, that's a terrible idea. It's a good thing they didn't do that, because that's a terrible idea. Any of you suckers hatched yet? Nothing yet. I don't know how long it takes tadpoles to become frogs. I admittedly have no idea. I'm honestly mostly relying on these two right here. Let's see if I can find the tweet about Pokemon fans not knowing what they want. Because I know I think I replied to it or something. Okay, people be like, Pokemon sucks. Then when asked what they would fix people be like, Pokemon sucks. And then when asked what they would do to fix it, it's the worst fucking idea ever. And yeah, my response is Temtem is one proof that this is 100% accurate. And Temtem's not even that extreme, right? The thing is, I'm probably going to play Temtem at some point. Because I guarantee you that's a game that will eventually go on sale. And if it goes on sale for probably even just $10, I'll pick it up. Assuming the Switch port runs well, which... God, that's anybody's guess, honestly. We had a lot of tadpoles in here, but I only see 3. And I definitely can't see under the ice. I don't know how long frogs can survive under the water. I admittedly have... Again, I'm mostly checking on these two. Because these two are the ones I have hope in. I don't know, I'd be surprised if frogs could only, stay under the water for, 5 minutes. It's just, I see that one, I see that one, I see that one. And that's about it. Oh, can I feed them slime balls to make them grow faster? I hadn't even thought about that. Oh, I got all this wood to make a bed. Or to make a chest. Let's take half at least. Okay, let's see. Oh my god. It's working. But who knows how long that went. Oh my god, I should have used our test one. I'm really glad we found those slimes in the cave. But yeah, so I highly recommend Ooblets. Ooblets is a very good game. It's probably better than whatever Temtem's going to turn out to be. And I have been thoroughly enjoying it. Oh, boom. There we go. Alright, come on, Green Frog. Oh my gosh. I know. That's probably... That sucks that they all just die. Alright, let's go find you all some magma cubes. You dummies really stuck. So yeah, so other than Ooblets, this has been something I've been working on for a while now. And yeah, I'm just gonna tell it how it is. So my mother is a huge fan of Batman. Okay, she loves Batman. She's gotten, right, I'm a big fan of Batman, and she's a big fan of Batman. Admittedly, she became a fan of Batman because I'm big into Batman. And she likes the movies and whatnot, but yeah. Right, I got her into Batman, basically. And, she's a huge fan. Mostly, right, she's seen, like, the animated... She was already a fan of, like, Arrow and the Flash, like, the CW shows. But, right, I got her into Batman. And she loves Batman now. Okay, wait. Let's... I'm assuming it's going to be through this other side. Yeah, so I got her into Batman. And so she's watched, like, all the movies. She's watched the animated series. At least the 1992 animated series. I don't know if she's watched any of the other ones. She's watched Harley Quinn. But one of the few things she hadn't done is play the game. Right? The Batman Arkham games. You know what? We're going to take these guys the long way. I have no problem leading these guys the long way through the Nether. So she's never played the Arkham games. Because she's not much of a gamer. I mean, I've talked previously about how I've had her play, how the family started a Minecraft world where everybody in the family plays Minecraft. Right? I've talked about that. How I set up that we haven't touched in a year at least. Right, I've started one with my roommates, I've started one with the family. The one really nice thing about Bedrock Edition is it's cross-platform play. Right, that you can have people on different consoles. Right, she's played, like, Kirby games. I've talked about that before at some point. She's played Return to Dreamland, Triple Deluxe, Planet Robobot, and Star Allies. So there's that, and then there's, like, a few puzzle games she's played. Nothing really particular. And that's her entire video game experience. For most of it. But being a big fan of Batman, she wanted to play Batman. And she especially wants to play the new game. Right? Gotham Knights. And yes, I've also I got her the comics at one point. So that way she can start reading those. But yeah, so she wants to play the new game, but before she can play the new game, I was like, maybe we should play the old games. So, and I happen to own all of the not Arkham Origins, but Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, all on PS4. Right? Throughout the years, PlayStation has just given them away for free. I've never bought them. And so I was like, oh, you know what? That makes sense to just play through the Arkham games. So that's exactly what I did. We started off, that's exactly what we did / are still doing. We started off with Arkham Asylum. So she had never played one of these games before. And so once a week-ish, and this didn't happen every week. We've been working on this for like 2 months now. Usually, I tried to do it once a week. I would go over to, usually before like Sunday family dinner, I would go over to her place, or my parents' place, I guess. Yeah, that's probably the proper way to put that. And I'd bring the PS4. Actually, just because I have the PS5 now, I just left the PS4 there. And we'd play Arkham Asylum. And, she'd play it, and I'd kind of try to guide her through it, help her. I only actually ever played it twice. Like, I actually just, like, she was struggling so much, I just played it for her. That only ever happened twice. And so, full spoilers for Arkham Asylum, which is, a 15-year-old game at this point? The 2 times I played it for her were the first fight with Bane, which she just could not, for like, I don't know, like half an hour. She just could not get. Which is not the longest, right? There was a boss fight that took way longer. But, there was the first fight with Bane. And then the second time was Killer Croc's Lair. At the end of doing Killer Croc's Lair, you have to do this, like, you have to retrace your steps and go, like, all the way back. And she tried for, like, an hour and couldn't do it. And eventually was just like, hey, will you do it? And then I think I did it on my, like, second try. So I have played Arkham Asylum before. I played the game when it originally, not when it originally came out, but I played it on Xbox 360. I don't know, like a decade-ish ago. Right, I played it on Xbox 360. Probably like 2010, 2011-ish. A while ago. Probably around the time Arkham City came out. Was when I played Arkham Asylum. But I really hadn't touched the game since. Just being honest. Oh, crap. This is why I built the tunnel. But so I've been having her go through Arkham Asylum. And she struggled at points, definitely. But yeah, she finally beat it this weekend. That's why we didn't stream yesterday. Because I came over and we played after family dinner Sunday night, or Saturday night. It was Saturday night this week. And we played late into the night. Just because she was so close to beating the game. Took her longer than I expected, but that's because Poison Ivy, the penultimate boss, took like an hour and a half. She did Joker on her first try in like 20-ish minutes. Poison Ivy took over an hour and a half. And it was mainly, right, and I was like, oh, well, why didn't you take it? Did she ask you? She didn't, because on like her second try, she got within like 2 hits. So it was one of those things where it's like, oh, she could totally beat it. She just had to keep trying until, yeah, eventually she did beat it. So she beat Poison Ivy, and then she was able to go on and beat the game pretty easily. But yeah, up until that point, there were tons of great moments. And right, because she knows stuff about Batman, there was a great moment when she's going down the elevator for the first time into the morgue, and all of a sudden the character coughs, and she's like, "Wait, what?" And then things started getting weird, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, was that scarecrow gas?" Like, she picked up on it almost immediately that like something was up. Because I think you even get, like, you see, like, the silhouette of Scarecrow. And yeah, she picked up on it immediately. She struggled during the Scarecrow segments, but God, they were cool. That's still I hope Spider-Man 2, the next Spider-Man game on PS5, does something like that. Because those moments are so good. And it's going to be a real shame if the next PS5 game doesn't do something like that. With Mysterio. Because, right, those Scarecrow... I know it's hard to do stuff like that in the open world, but they can find a way to do those segments. Because, goddamn, the Mysterio... those segments in Spider-Man are some of the coolest... Or in Arkham, the Scarecrow segments are some of the coolest things. And it's going to be a real shame not to have those again in the future. It really is. Because they're so awesome, and they're so much fun. But yeah, I know those aren't in Arkham City or Arkham Knight. But I had so much fun with those segments. Just straight up, I enjoyed the crap out of those segments. And yeah, seeing her struggle through them was funny. You know, it was funny. Alright, there's 2 frog lights. Oh my god. Okay, since we've got 2 of each. Green, yellow, and then we'll come back with the last one. Okay, let's head back. We just have 1 more frog to get. We gotta take it back through the path, and then we got the achievement. Oh my god. So, yeah, the last bit of it, right, she struggled with Poison Ivy, but other than that, she did great. She beat the game. Took, yeah, like 2-ish months, and we've already started Arkham City. She's very early on in that. I've played Arkham Asylum. I played it like 10 years ago. I started Arkham City. I don't think I've ever beaten it. And replaying it, there's clearly a lot I just straight up do not remember. Like, I don't remember any of this Catwoman stuff. Like, I know there was like some sort of Catwoman like DLC. I don't know if that's this, if that's something different. I don't remember the Catwoman stuff at all. But here we are, so yeah. But yeah, so that's been... It's a very good... Arkham Asylum is a very good game. But yeah, it was fun to, you know, watch her struggle through it. Sometimes some segments went better than well. She actually did fine when it came to like actual like punching people in combat. She did fine. It was more stealth segments where all the guys had guns that she struggled, especially the segment with her when the gargoyles explode. There's a segment near the end of the game where all the gargoyles explode. And that took a while. Because, you know, she was so used to, you know, fleeing with the gargoyles, that now that was no longer an option, well, things had to change. So, yeah. But, yeah, she played the entirety of the game. I don't know how long it took her. Riddler trophies found? Nah. It does worry me, though, that I know Riddler trophies are important in Arkham Knight. I've never played Arkham Knight. I never played Arkham Origins either, but I never played Arkham Knight. But I remember Riddler trophies being important in that game. I remember hearing somewheres that, like, you have to get the Riddler trophies in that game. So, that's going to be a whole thing. But the actual game itself, yeah. But yeah, there were some points where I was, like, going a little crazy. Yeah, definitely, you know... There were some points where I was going a little crazy, but for the most part, no. It's a really good game, and, you know, did I have to guide her a lot? Yes, but sometimes, you know, I just let her go and see where it all turned out. But yeah, she's really excited for Gotham Knights. Because she gets to play one of her, I'm not going to say which one, but one of her favorite characters is in Gotham Knights, is one of the 4 playable characters. So she's really excited for that. How did you escape? Okay, I'm gonna keep the frog lights here just because I don't want to lose them. Let's sleep, and then we'll go back and get that last frog. We're getting the achievement tonight. Yeah, we finally... that's the reason why I didn't stream yesterday, is because we were finishing it. And by the time we finished it, it was like, oh, by the time I get home, by the time, I'm all set up for stream, it would have been like, probably like 11:30-ish. And it's like, nah, I'm not going to worry about that. So I was like, I'll just do it today instead. So we played a little longer and started Arkham City. Which, yeah, we're very early on in. I'm curious how she's going to grapple with the open world. Because one of the nice things about Arkham Asylum is that it's a linear game, right? You're going down corridors. So it's kind of hard to get lost, right? Whereas Arkham City is now this open world game. And it's a lot easier to get lost and, to find where to go. Yeah. But I'm having fun. Yeah. Arkham, man. Yeah, no. Okay, I did. If I had brought another bucket, we probably could have just tadpoled and then just set them up some. I don't know. We should be able to. I remember there being a mangrove map or a mangrove biome somewhere on the map, not too far from where we are. So my hope is that we just go find that and bring the frogs back from that. But the corridor worked like a charm. The frogs didn't jump off. Sure, they got stuck right here, and sure, they get stuck around corners. Small price to pay. Small price to pay for everything working. Anything else? I haven't been playing anything else. I can tell you that. There are things I'm considering playing. Like, I talked previously about how I really wanted, like, like a factory game, like Factorio or Satisfactory, but my computer can't run Satisfactory, and the guy who created Factorio isn't a great person, and it's kind of hard to, support him. So my third bet is Autonauts, which came to Switch, and guess what? It's on sale right now. So if I wasn't playing Ooblets, right, the second I hit that shop goal in Ooblets, I'm gonna stop for a while, which is supposedly around like the halfway point. Supposedly that shop goal is around the halfway point. I'm gonna stop Ooblets, and then I'm probably gonna buy Autonauts. I'm gonna buy it before the sale ends, and then I'm just gonna play it. Okay, you're still here. Are any of the tadpoles here? There is 1, 2. Okay. Alright, whatever. Let's go find... Let's go find the swamp, or the mangrove. But yeah, so I've also been... The other thing I was able to finally get my hands on is the Switch version of Doki Doki Literature Club. So I streamed Doki Doki Literature Club back in 2019? At the end of 2019, probably. And we played a little bit of it. And it was like there was still plenty more stuff to do. Like I never even got to the Just Monica stuff. But I was like, I'm satisfied with my time right now. Right? Like I'm kind of good. But recently, I've just been thinking about it again. And mainly it went on sale for like $10 at Best Buy. But when I had checked, they were sold out. But it went on sale again recently, and I checked again, and sure enough, they had a copy. So I went and picked it up, the Doki Doki Literature Club, and so, yeah, now I own that game again. I know it was free on Steam, but, this is Plus and whatnot. So I'm definitely like, maybe I'll play that. I don't know. It's definitely a neat thing to have, that's for sure. So yeah, there was a mangrove somewheres out here. I want to say it was this way. Let me Give me a second. At least I thought there was a... Oh gosh, am I barking up the wrong tree? Oh. Okay, never mind. I guess I'm barking up the wrong tree. Okay, well, there is a solution to this. We need some iron. Okay. I thought I was in the right place. I guess not. I know how to fix this, actually. This is gonna be super simple. I'm actually not here for the iron. I'm here for this. I want this coal. I don't even need much. Yeah, I thought there was a mangrove. I guess I'm thinking of somewhere else, maybe. Maybe it's farther north than I thought. I thought there was a mangrove here, though. Admittedly, I also thought the swamp was farther away than it turned out to be. Like, I know because we're in the snow for the snow frogs. But I thought there was a mangrove nearby. I know I'm drowning. Because we're gonna get some frog eggs. We're gonna get like 2 or 3 more. And we're just gonna bring them back. Yeah, no, I swear there was a mangrove swamp here. I guess not. Luckily, this part's good. We could actually do it with the one we have, but I want to get more. I want to get at least 2 more. Just for contingency's sake. And we have buckets at home, but I don't want to run back home. It's not worth my time. So yeah, I don't think I haven't said this. I don't think I've said this up to this point. I have been watching Amphibia, but I'm waiting until I finish the first season to talk about it. Kind of like what I did with the Owl House. And I have not finished the first season. Currently, I want to say I'm like 11 episodes into the first season. I only started it like a week ago. And it's been one of those things, kind of like how I did the Owl House. I'm only doing like 1 episode a night, if that. Right, so I'm slowly binging eventually, hopefully, if it gets good enough, which supposedly it will, I'll like pick up the pace. But yeah. Because, sometimes you gotta binge shows, sometimes you just gotta sit back and relax. Even though binging is so much easier. But yeah, so I've been working my way through Amphibia, but I've got nothing. Well, I'll wait until the end. I finish the season. Okay, let's go down. I know there's some iron in the cave below. And we've still got time for you. So I guess the other thing we should talk about is Harley Quinn. So episode 8 of Harley Quinn came out this week, and goddamn was it a really good episode. So in the last episode, Harley kidnapped Bruce Wayne, and in this episode we get like the interrogation of Bruce Wayne, where she originally tries to beat the information out of him and he won't crack. So instead they bring back Dr. Psycho, who's been running a podcast from prison. That's funny. Okay, that's funny. And so he's been running his podcast from prison, and he agrees that if Harley guests on his podcast, he'll break them into Bruce Wayne's mind. So they break into Bruce Wayne's mind, and we find out that he just lives his parents' death over and over again in his head. Right? That's it. That's his mind. It's just him watching his parents die over and over again ad infinitum. Very accurate depiction of Bruce Wayne. Yep, that's it. The show gets it. The show nails it. And then, so they're able to fight back we only need 8. Maybe even that's only because it's 1 coal. Yeah, so they're able to... Harley breaks the sequence. But then this causes, the mind to, basically implode and trap her inside. And now she's running away from Joe Chill. And we go through Bruce Wayne's memories. This is where she figures out that Batman is Bruce Wayne. Because there was that great moment in the first season where the Joker figures out that Batman is Bruce Wayne and then yells at him about not getting his electric car. Really funny moment. And we kind of get that, right? We get that because the Joker's the only one who's known, and if he still knows, they haven't mentioned it up until this point. They haven't admitted that he still knows. But this is Harley finding out finally, and we see Harley go into a memory, and Harley sees both her past self, and she is Robin for a little bit, right? She wears the Robin outfit. And we actually get a really great moment where she admits that, yeah, you know what? Being a hero isn't that bad. This actually feels kind of fun. And, she's acting as Bruce Wayne's therapist because she wants to help him. And, her whole thing is that she wants to help Bruce Wayne. And she's like, oh, let me get your license. Can I get your consent to, be your therapist? And that happens, and that's a great moment. It's a lot of it shows us how far Harley Quinn has come, Harley has come, and eventually they find out that Joe Chill is Bruce Wayne in Bruce's mind, that he hasn't forgiven himself for everything that happened with his parents, and that he blames him, that it's all his own fault, which, I mean, yeah. But then at the end of the episode, the big twist, I guess you could say, is that the reason why he captured Frank it is to stop whatever Poison Ivy was planning. His actual goal is because he realizes Frank's powers can bring back the dead, and so he's going to use that power to bring back his dead parents. Fantastic. I have no idea where they're going to go with it. There's only 2 episodes left in the season. They could go anywhere with it. But that's fantastic. Because we've seen time and time again that, at least in the comics, we've seen this once or twice, that when given the opportunity, there's it's actually not a great comic, but there was a point where Booster Gold, right before Batman's wedding, Booster Gold goes back and brings Bruce back in time and allows him to talk to his parents as Booster Gold's wedding gift. To be like, hey, yeah, here you can tell your parents that, hey, you're all grown up and you're getting married now. And Bruce Wayne actually sabotages Booster to try to stop him from going back Because, right, he's trying to save his parents. And I know that's not the only time that's happened. There's that one famous picture about, like, with his, like, the ghost of his parents telling them not to go. Perchance, the animated series has Perchance to Dream. And, of course, they also adapted Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. Or, was it not? It's not Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. It's, For the Man Who Has Everything. That's the episode. Yeah. But yeah, no, it is in line with Bruce Wayne's character that, right, given the chance to save his parents, specifically using, like, alternate dimensions and time travel, he will take that chance. Right? He will do what he can to save his parents. So I think that lines up perfectly. God, we're gonna have to fucking climb down the mountain. I can tell you that right now. I am not looking forward to this. We'll keep one frog up here in a bucket. I'll put it in a chest, but the other two were taken down. I think we can do it in a... Okay, I'm gonna have to look up Minecraft frogs real quick. I'm gonna have to do some research. Minecraft frogs. It's weird, because I thought the snow one was gonna be the hardest one to get. Which is why I went for it first. Okay, we don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need that. We don't need that. Probably don't need that boat anymore, and I'm going to store a frog in there. Okay, let's see. So, the warm frogs spawn in savannas. Okay, so we're good to do them in savannas. But we gotta get down to the savannas. I'm also gonna grab another bucket. We can work with one empty bucket. God, honestly, getting them down is not hard. It's getting them back up that's the problem. Unless there's an easier way. Unless there's a closer savanna. Which I'm definitely gonna take a look for right now. Because there's the one down there. But this is a big biome. There might be one up here. I don't know. This mountain's weird. If it wasn't obvious, there's a reason why we're up here in the mountain. If it wasn't obvious from the beginning of the stream, like, I didn't pick this location for no reason. See, so there's that savanna right there. Okay, let's see. Actually, let's... Before I commit to this... We actually only need to get one, but I got multiple as backups. Because I'd rather have a backups, and backups to backups. Because, see, there might be a way... I mean, there's the staircase right there. You can actually straight up... That's where it is. That staircase I was at earlier. But there might... Oh, gosh. I don't love this idea. Wish I had my telescope. I know we found that crystal at the beginning. But I have no idea where that is. I don't even remember where spawn is. It's been almost a month now. Okay, this might be our best bet. Yeah, let's take the chance. Actually, wait. We need to make an infinite water pool first. But we have water. It's right up there. Oh, come on. Oh, you know what I did watch? I watched the first episode of Little Demon, the new FX show with Danny DeVito as Satan and I want to say it's Danny DeVito's daughter as Satan's daughter, right? I watched that and you know, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was definitely a little weird, but it wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. I was surprised at how much they show. Like, I watched it on Hulu. And, yeah, they have straight up full female nudity. That actually caught me off. Oh my god! I did sleep. This is why I got backup frogs. I didn't even realize I was that close to death. So yeah, I watched the first episode, and yeah, they have straight up full female nudity in that. But I'm not a prude. I was just caught off guard. I'm like, wait, can TV shows show this? I mean, it's animated, but so I'm assuming the version that aired on live TV was censored. But yeah, the Hulu version, nope, not at all. So that surprised me. But yeah, it was okay, you know. Teenage girl, the Antichrist. You know, her mom's a witch and her dad's Satan, and hilarity ensues, you know. Yeah, I don't know. It seems okay. I'll probably watch another episode or two. Yeah. Man, no, Harley Quinn was really good this week. I'm super with them bringing back, right, Thomas and Martha. They're going to be zombies or something. That's going to be super interesting. But I said at the end of season 2, you can go back and find my video on that I fully thought that because in the modern day comics, Harley and Ivy are both heroes, right? Like that's because people have pointed out that like, oh, Ivy didn't even have like a hero redemption thing. It was more that people just saw like, oh, this woman who's fighting to protect the environment, why the hell is she the villain, right? It was just kind of one of those things where it's like, wait, this is the villain? And then they, you know, and I know they did actual hero redemption, but that's kind of the joke. So actually seeing, right, and I was like, that's going to be something that's going to happen in the show. And we're starting to see it with Harley realizes in this episode that, you know, being a hero isn't bad. You know, it was actually kind of fun. So I'm sure we're going to see that in future episodes. And I like her being Bruce Wayne's psychologist. I'm sure there's more they can do with that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know. I really like the show. It's a very good, very fun show. There's 2 episodes left. They could go anywhere in these next 2 episodes. But so far, I have thoroughly enjoyed it. And I am excited to see what else they do in the future. Because right now, Warner Brothers is kind of, you know, imploding at the moment, right? A lot of great shows have been canceled or destroyed and canceled, right? Harley Quinn, it's a great show, but it's an animated show. And right now, a lot of what Warner Discovery has been destroying has been animated. So that begged the question, what was going to happen to Harley Quinn? And they did, at least from what I heard, I could be wrong, but from what I've heard, Harley Quinn has been renewed for a 4th season. So at least at the moment, because it was originally a DC Universe show, and then DC Universe got destroyed, and so that just left, and then everything moved over to HBO Max. So now everything's theoretically moving over. I don't know, Warner Brothers Discovery, I don't know what's going to happen to it. But it's a really good show. I thoroughly enjoy it. I hope we get more. I'm glad we're getting more of it. I'm glad they're not just straight up canceling it. because I could totally see them just straight up cancel it. But nope, we're at least getting a little more. Okay, let's see. You in here? Okay, there we go. Alright, get up here. Alright, get up here, frog that's in love that I overfed. But yeah, I've been thoroughly enjoying it. It's curious because right now we've got the plot line of Poison Ivy trying to terraform the city, which is now course with the Bruce Wayne plot line of Batman. But we've also got Joker as mayor. It's going to be interesting how this all culminates. It really is. I'm super excited to see where it goes from here. Oh gosh. Come on. Oh my god, this frog. This frog. Okay, I think we're... Oh god, did I go up the bad cliff face? We'll see. We shall see. Looks like it, but we'll see. So yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say. I'm just super excited to see where it goes from here. I'm glad it's getting a 4th season. It totally deserves that. Because it is seriously a great show. Okay, I think from here, we're in the home stretch now. This is getting the rest of this up here is easy. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that leaves us with She-Hulk. So She-Hulk, I guess we talked about an hour on Nintendo Direct predictions. Admittedly, I've been talking a lot about frogs, but that's kind of today. Frog Train. She-Hulk this week. So the episode starts off immediately, pointing out toxic fans who are calling it. It's like, oh, why is it She-Hulk? Oh, why are we getting all these female heroes? What about male heroes? Right? Instead of saying MCU, they do like He-Hulk. But it's all about, like, the episode starts off pointing out like toxic fans and right, all this like toxic thing, and right, the new they pin some of it on the news, which I mean, I guess sure, but I do definitely feel like fandoms are kind of more to blame for some of this stuff. I don't know. But yeah, they talk about the whole MCU thing. We see a bunch of like Twitter and Facebook reactions, which I've talked before about, like, oh well, why do you dislike, speaking of right, Harley Quinn and whatnot, I've talked before about how, like, oh, why do I dislike when a show attacks its fans, all something like Steven Universe or My Little Pony. Which I've not seen much of My Little Pony, but someone told me that the episode where they attacked their fans was good. So I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. And then I did, and it was actually really bad. Right? But I hate when shows attack their fans. Because most shows are very bad at it. But the one exception to that, the one exception that can attack fans, and did it good, was Harley Quinn. And I think She-Hulk also goes into that. Yep. She-Hulk is one of now 2 things where they attack fans, and they do it well. And so, if they're the 2 exceptions, what is the common denominator between these 2? Well, the first thing and the main thing is they're not attacking, right? Like, the problem with a lot of these is that, right, with Steven Universe and My Little Pony specifically, those are the two examples I can think of off the top of my head. Teen Titans Go as well also, is that they're attacking people who, in theory, like the show, but have problems with it. Right? Like, that's what they're attacking. Harley Quinn and She-Hulk, are attacking people who were never fans. Right? These people were never going to be fans of the show. They were always going to be sexist towards it. Right? Whether that's Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy or She-Hulk, they were always sexist against the show. They were never going to like it. Right? They were never fans in the first place. And two, the problem with attacking fans is that you're normally punting down. Right? You have a show that's punting down and attacking the people who watch it. However, ideas, you can't punt down on an idea. And toxic masculinity is just an idea. Right? Like, you can't punt down on it, exactly. I mean, you can. You can talk... Right? You can, but you also can't, because it's just an idea. Right? And it's a fucking shithead idea. It's like, is anyone gonna be mad at you punting down on Confederates? Or is anyone gonna be mad? Right? Because Confederates are a very small group, right? Like, you know, people who wave around the Confederate flag. A very small group of people. Is anyone gonna be mad at you punting down on them? Because they're a bunch of fucking shitheads. Is anyone gonna be mad at you for punting down on Nazis? Because Nazis don't exist anymore. No, because they're a bunch of fucking cunts. And no one's gonna be, and at least I'm not gonna be mad at you punting down on these sexist, misogynistic, usually racist, usually homophobic assholes. Because they're assholes. And they aren't fans. So no, I don't think they're punting down. Because they're attacking the idea of this toxic culture. I don't know. Maybe, admittedly, part of the reason why I don't mind it in She-Hulk and I don't mind it in Harley Quinn is because when they do this attacking fan thing, they're specifically attacking things I don't like. So I'm actually perfectly fine with them punting down. Whereas in those two other episodes, they're not really doing that. I mean, in some ways they are. Specifically, I'm thinking Rocknaldo. Like, because there is this whole, like, toxic, like, nerd culture to things. So, like, in some ways they are. But in other ways, they most definitely aren't. So that's kind of the complication there, you know? Alright, let's go out and get us a magma cube. Oh, magma cream. Magma cube. Hey. Come on. But yeah, so that, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with them, right, attacking fans in this. I'm using air quotes. Because it's hard, you can argue that the people who are doing this were never really fans in the first place. Or they're fans of, like, this, like, specific idea of, like, this toxic masculinity idea. It's like Dan Harmon once put it, that, like, you go, right, let's say you go watch the movie Captain Marvel, and you don't really like the movie. So then you post on, like, a message, like, online, like, on Twitter, that, hey, I didn't really like Captain Marvel. Then you're gonna get a bunch of people in the comments who are gonna be like, oh, you didn't like Captain Marvel? Well, I didn't like Captain Marvel either. Hey, you should read this document by Andrew Tate. He talks a lot about the problems with Captain Marvel. Right? Like, it starts innocently enough, and then it becomes toxic. There it is. I want to get... right? It starts off like, oh, hey, look at, right? You start off, like, this is why you need to deplatform Nazis. Because, right, you start off talking about something innocent, but it's very easy to turn that innocent thing into something not innocent, into something more hostile. Oh, good. Okay, let's go get our I mean, we could try to get the green one right here, but let's head back. You know, the worst thing about these frog lights is, right, they're a pain in the ass. Look at all the effort we've spent over multiple streams just trying to get them. They actually look really nice. Once you go through the effort to get them, they're really good looking lights. I love the purple and the green. The yellow, we have enough lights that look yellow, so that one doesn't really do it for me. But the purple and green, yeah, those are some good lights. We need more colored lights in Minecraft. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it all starts, right? Oh, I don't like Captain Marvel. Well, hey, we don't like Captain Marvel either. You should read some of this Andrew Tate stuff talking about Captain Marvel and how bad it is and how, right, how it discriminates against men and whatnot. It's all fucking gateway stuff, and that's why you need to deplatform Nazis. But yeah, they're tackling that idea because these guys are fucking dickheads. So yeah, the actual episode itself, I'm actually glad they're not gonna spend the whole series with the Abomination. I really hope this is the last time we see Abomination. Right, you find out his cult, right, his like secret, like, not lovers, he doesn't, his like soulmates or whatever, are like these 7 women who are all like cultists basically, and he's probably, you know, gonna go start a cult or whatever. He's basically Jared Leto, but allegedly. But yeah, that's way more. I'm actually kind of glad there's not like a Thunderbolts thing, because, well, they could totally do it. I also, the idea that they don't, and instead he's just like right into like this really weird like hippie shit, that's way funnier. But yeah, we get Wong shows up in this episode, which I like that they point out, like, oh, remember, right, Wong may be cameoing in this episode, but this is not the Wong show. Remember who this show is about. Right, that's how the episode basically opens. I like the fourth wall breaks. I still think those all work. But yeah, all the stuff with the Abomination, him going on trial, Wong, right, vowing that, yeah, to become Sorcerer Supreme, I had to defeat a very strong opponent, and the Abomination just happened to be a strong opponent, so I broke him out of prison. Which, yeah, I love that Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme. The MCU has done, you know, they took I don't want to say a nothing character, but a character who had very little going on in the comics, and really made him interesting, and really just had, it's not even interesting, it's just that you had fun with him. God, I love Wong. Great character. Great character all around. And it's cool seeing him again in this episode. Yeah, and we see that, he can transform into Abomination, transform back. He kind of like, right? Because again, the thing that makes Hulk the Hulk is that he's got multiple personalities. Abomination doesn't have that, so he's able to transform without going to like a rage mode. But the episode does end with him getting his parole. Meanwhile, the B story, which, okay, you can, I'm gonna be that guy for a second. As you know, the main writer on this did work on Rick and Morty. And you know what? The B story in this reminded me of how they do it reminds me of Rick and Morty. Right? Because Rick and Morty does, right, they do the A, B, and occasional C plots. And then, you know, there's usually a moment where they come together. And so, yeah, you get exactly that here. You get the A and the B plots that then... They even point out at one point that, yeah, these two plots have come together in this moment. You sleep? Good. So yeah, that's, again, the B plot reminds me a lot more of a Rick and Morty. With our powers combined, we did it! We got all 3 frog lights. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at him. Aren't they beautiful? Look at that. In this one area, we've got the alley with the cake, the frog lights, and then the abandoned city right beneath our feet. Ah, that's nice. I'm gonna stand here and just wait for a creeper to blow me up. So yeah, the abomination stuff was all good. The B story wasn't as good. Like, you had the shapeshifter who kept, like, changing into people, right? Because it originally tricked this guy into thinking they were Megan Thee Stallion, which there was a rumor, like, last week or 2 weeks ago that Megan Thee Stallion was going to appear in the MCU. And, you know, I figured it was going to be like an actual character. No, it's literally just Megan Thee Stallion as Megan Thee Stallion. Because, yeah, they do show up in this episode as them, because this shapeshifter is pretending to be them. And right, and it's like, oh, well, is this guy stupid enough to think he would have actually dated Megan Thee Stallion? And they always say it. They always say it like that. They always put the emphasis on it. It's like, oh, this is our cool right? Like, they're like 2 steps away from being like a Scooby-Doo episode, right? With how much they say, like, the guest star's appearance. Or like LeBron James and fucking Fortnite or whatever, or some shit like that, right? Just the way they say it. But yeah, it was, you know, it's okay. They got Megan Thee Stallion. We get this whole. This show does not want to be a superhero show. It wants to be a comedy courtroom show, and that's why the B plot is here. It's our comedy courtroom show, following this guy who gets duped out of, like, what was it, like? It was like $75,000. It was a good chunk of money. Just because he was, because he thought he was dating Megan Thee Stallion. And then so before we get to the end credit scene, you get this moment where they talk about, so at the end, right, she settled the court case, right? The guy's gotten his money back from the elf, and the elf's going to jail for impersonating a judge because shape-shifting powers. And then you get this moment where she's walking back home, and Jennifer Walters gets attacked by 4 people. She turns into She-Hulk, beats them all up, and then they run away. And the second I saw these guys, I was like, oh fuck, that's the Wrecking Crew. I always the Wrecking Crew are characters that I always figured would show up in the MCU, and this is exactly how I figured they show up. Not in, like, the way, not, like, specifically in She-Hulk, just, what I mean by that is I figured the Wrecking Crew would show up, get their asses kicked, and run away. And what happens? They show up, they get their asses kicked, and they run away. Yep. One of the most comic accurate portrayals of a character. Because that's it. Literally all the Wrecking Crew are Thor villains who got Asgardian enchantments, and then they became construction equipment themed supervillains who, use like a wrecking ball and a crowbar to, beat people up and, commit crimes. And they always get their ass kicked by Thor. And they're usually working for somebody else, like the animated Marvel show. They're working for the leader. And I want to say in that show, they're not Asgardian. They're instead related to the Hulk. Even though in the first episode, Thor comes in and beats them up. But yeah, in this show, guess what? They come in, instead of having Asgardian, like, enchantments, they have basically some discarded Asgardian construction equipment. Like, you've got the wrecking ball and you've got the crowbar. But there's one guy who has special gauntlets. And then there's another guy who has, like, a special hard hat. And then they come in, She-Hulk beats them up. They try to steal some of her blood, but fail. And they're clearly working for somebody else. Is that the leader? Is that who knows? It's somebody else. Why can't I not make this jump anymore? This is the Wrecking Crew. They didn't do disservice to the character. Like, they don't look anything like they do in the comics, but thematically, spot on. spot on. They nailed it. So yeah. And then we get the final scene of the episode where She-Hulk signs Megan Thee Stallion as a client, and then She-Hulk twerks. And yep, great. You know, when one of my most viewed videos, one of my most viewed stream archive is my ASMR stream where I talked about the song WAP. I don't know why that's one of my most viewed videos, but trust me, it is. And during the time, I said, you know, the song is stupid, but it's fun. It's childish, not in that it was made for children, but it's like kind of immature. But I enjoyed it, right? It's fun. It's stupid. And you know, sometimes as a guy, you just want to see some ass. You know, that's fine. That's fine. You gotta admit it sometimes. And sometimes, you know, lesbians will tell you the same thing. But, in this, She-Hulk throwing it back, damn. And you know, it's fun, it's stupid. I have literally zero complaints about any of this. The only people I know complaining about this, like, not a single feminist. Like, I didn't see a single feminist complaining about WAP, and I didn't see a single feminist complaining about this. No, it's all of the misogynist, dude bro, Andrew Tate fans, Ben Shapiro-esque people. Those are the ones who complain about this. Right? No woman, right? Because no woman complains about this. No guy who feels secure about his masculinity complains about this. It's all right. Ben Shapiro, people like Ben Shapiro. Ben, I've never made a woman wet in my life. Shapiro, right? That's the type of guy who hates this. And yeah, yep. And the fact that the episode starts making fun of these people. And, yep, it's those exact people who are complaining about it. Just proves the episode's point. Yep. So, yeah, I have no problem with it whatsoever. Go right ahead. Nice. Yep. Completely. Yep. They're going for a comedy, and they're doing a pretty good job. I thought it was funny, you know? So, yeah. But yeah, you know exactly who's going to complain about this, complained about it. There was not a doubt in my mind the second it happened. Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying She-Hulk. I'm excited to see more. Don't know how many episodes it is. For some reason I remember hearing that it was like 12 episodes, which I'm actually really glad if that's the case, because I definitely think it should be a longer show. Yeah, I'm still enjoying She-Hulk. So... Ooh. Okay, whatever. I guess that takes us to the outro. God, we went for basically 3.5 hours tonight. God, it took us it took us 3.5 hours to get frogs. It took us basically 3 hours to get the frogs. Right, to finish off the gateway in the Nether, to get the frogs, to bring them all over. Yep. But look at it. All the frog lights. Oh my gosh. It's actually... Okay, it just hasn't updated yet. 421 hours to get all 122 achievements. Yeah, the Froglight one is probably one of the hardest. Let's see, what other ones? This one was a pain in the ass, but not as hard as I thought it was going to be. This one was not hard, it just took forever. That one was not hard. Not bad, not bad. It's all gonna be these. No, not that one, not that one. This one. This one just took forever. You had to... Right, this one, much like the Froglight, where I needed a lot of setup, this one, Master Trader, required a lot of setup. Beaconator, of course, you got to beat the Wither, which I think is one of... I've only ever beaten the Wither 2 times in Bedrock Edition, and this was one of them. Pain in the ass. But then you got to get the fully powered beacon. This one sucks because it usually glitches out, but it's not hard. This one you can cheat. This one, the golden apple ones suck just because it's hard to find an enchanted golden apple. Of course. I say that, but... I know I had an enchanted golden apple somewhere in here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to find them, but if you can, well, yeah, there you go. Which, did I ever show the seed for this world? There's the seed. So, yeah. See, any other hard ones? I know I do this every time we fill up the achievements. Because we did these 3 on stream. These 3 happened on Place Scaffolding, Breed 2 Pandas. And yeah. We might have even done this one, but I know we did these 3 for sure. That was in a previous episode of Enchant. Frostwalker. Not hard, it just takes time. Honestly, it's just those few. Again, Bedrock has... like, none of these Ravager ones are too hard. Bedrock has way harder achievements. Kill every mob. Get one of every armor piece. Breed every mob. See, there's the first time I beat the Wither. Does that one even work anymore with how they changed how Ocelots work? They're sure. Wow, it took me a while to get... I did Cow Tipper after I did Gassed Fireball. It's kind of funny. Yeah. So yeah, 120. And I do it every time. Every time a new update comes out. Still waiting for Minecon or Minecraft Earth, Minecon Live. I kind of don't... Minecon Earth, I kind of don't remember what it's called. One day we'll get another one. And they'll inevitably disappoint us again, because that seems to be all that can happen. So yeah, what's up for the coming week of the stream? Splatoon. Really, that's it. I know Fall Guys is working towards their next season. Your best guess is as good as mine when that starts. I admittedly have not been checking their Twitter at all. Usually most of the notifications I found out about Fall Guys, I get through their Twitter. But I don't have... But, right, I only see so much. So I have no idea what's up. Ever since, like, the last time I played it, which was when we did the Sonic thing, that was not archived. When we played Sonic on stream, did not get archived onto YouTube. Because Twitch... That was actually Twitch's fault. That was not mine. I did not forget to archive it, unlike Wind Waker. Now, that was Twitch's fault. Twitch didn't archive it. But, yeah, the Sonic level... I haven't played it since then. Because, yeah, and I'm ready to start Splatoon. You know, we're going to have a lot of fun in that. That's going to be the next few weeks. And yeah, but yeah, I'm excited to play more Ooblets, you know? That's my current addiction. Ooblets. So yeah, Autonauts. I'll eventually get to Cult of the Lamb. I want to get to these games before the year end, but I'm in no rush to do it right now. Even though the mountains kind of suck, this is a nice area. Some beautiful caves back there, and I think in both directions, actually. So I think that's where we're going to end it for today. Yeah, Splatoon, that seems pretty obvious. Yeah. It took us multiple weeks to work out and get all these achievements. It was only 4. It took us so long to get 4 achievements. But I got them. You better believe I got them. And yeah. So yeah, next week we'll be back with Splatoon. And we'll actually do a normal stream. And not, right, like kind of like what we did with the Splatfest. But until then, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time. Peace.